Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of our new talk show called DMCs, the show where we have deep, meaningful conversations. And I am joined by my good friend and co-host, Argonised. How are you doing today, Argonised?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm very excited to get this started. We have been working on it for quite a bit of time, I'd say. How long would you say we've been working on it for?
A couple hours at least.
Couple hours, yeah. Good couple hours. They were productive hours, though. There were some good hours. Yeah, very excited
Yeah.
to bring it to you guys, and hopefully it should be good. But before we jump in, why don't you introduce yourself to chat a little bit, tell them who you are, tell them maybe how we met and how we came up with the idea in the first place.
Okay, so I am organized. I've got some links down below if you want to look at some memes that I've made.
Cheeky plug
There's like
already. Wow, not even a
there's,
couple minutes
there's
in.
like 3 memes. They're really not very good, but yeah. I met Howley through university, and we became very fast friends.
Fast
Uh,
friends.
very fast. Yes.
Nice.
And then yeah, it just kind of went from there. And we have these deep, meaningful conversations when it gets a bit late. And we thought it'd be a good idea to maybe put them on Twitch for you guys to see. Oh, we got some people in chat. Hello, Nicole.
Hello. Hot
Hello,
Russian
Hot
singles as
Russian
well.
Singles.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Appreciate that. But yeah, that's basically it. As Organized said, we like to have these conversations a lot when we're friends. So we thought, hey, why not just I started doing Twitch, so why not have these conversations with you guys as well? So hopefully you guys enjoy. Yeah, should we just jump right into it, Organized?
Yeah, so I thought we'd start off by asking Howley a little bit about his stream and
Okay.
a little bit about that. So I've prepared some questions actually. I don't normally prepare anything,
Have
but
you?
I've decided this is worth it.
Look at that
Uh,
dedication, chat. Look at that. Okay, I
yes.
respect that a lot. Hit me, hit me.
So do you want to tell chat just why you started streaming? What are your goals going into it? That kind of thing.
Okay, yeah. So I only started streaming for about 3 weeks for up until now, and mainly just because partly the reasons because of quarantine. I think I wanted to do something over this period of time. Otherwise, I knew I just wouldn't do anything, right? So I want to do
Mm.
something kind of a long-term thing as well, something that I can stick to. And streaming has always been something that I was interested in, like streaming and YouTube as like a whole thing, because I've always been watching YouTube videos. I've always been watching Twitch and watching since I was like a teenager. So something that I've always wanted to do, really. But it's something that I've never got the chance to do. Partly because I was probably just quite scared, and when I was younger, I was like, oh no way I can become a streamer, right?
Fair.
But now, I just thought I'd give it a go, and yeah, here we are, basically. But the quarantine, it was kind of like the straw on the camel's back, I guess, right? Because I wanted to make sure I was doing something for this period of time.
Okay, that sounds good. Have you done anything else in the quarantine, or are you just doing this?
Actually, this takes a lot of time. If you'd be surprised.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I want to do some other stuff too, but honestly, yeah, I've been focusing on this a lot. Obviously, I
Mm.
also run like a YouTube channel a little bit as well, so I have to do a bit of editing on my videos,
Oh
which does take up a
yes.
lot of time. So kind of just balancing. I'm doing a bit more of the Twitch now, streaming consistently for about 4 to 5 times a week the last couple of weeks.
Okay.
So yeah, honestly, it does take a lot of time, but I'm really enjoying it personally. It's been a lot of fun for sure.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Let's see. What else do I have here?
You're actually
Why?
very prepared. Very
Why?
prepared.
Why do you stream Hearthstone? That mobile game.
The mobile
I'm,
game.
I'm,
Okay, if you guys
I'm,
don't
I'm
know,
kidding. I'm kidding.
I introduce
Yeah.
Hearthstone for a bit, just in case chat doesn't know what Hearthstone is,
Uh,
or do they
I'm
know?
sure some people in chat should know, but if you
Probably.
want to, yeah, might be
So
helpful.
Hearthstone, as Arcanine says, is a mobile game.
Mm.
It's available on mobile devices.
I
Um,
love calling it a mobile game.
I mean,
It
it's not
really
it's not a lie. That's the thing. It's not a lie. But yeah, it's basically a virtual card game, and the reason I'm doing Hearthstone is because I personally just love the game. I've been playing since I think for about like 2.5 years now, and it's
okay.
kind of the first and probably the only game that I've really like put so much time into. I just love the game. Like I feel like I understand the game a lot. Not to like
Right.
say I'm a pro or anything, but I've definitely put a lot of hours into the game. Arguably unhealthy amount of hours, but
Okay.
yeah, like I've just played a lot of the game, and I've loved the game ever since I started playing it. So I thought it was the correct thing for me to stream Hearthstone. Also, there's not really like a close second. There's not really like a second game that I'm equally as knowledgeable about or as good at. I think so. It just makes sense
Okay.
for me to listen to, and it's something that I love as well. I think is important.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Cough, addiction, cough. Oh, okay.
Yes, Nicole, also an addiction. I was definitely, there was a period of time when I started playing it that I would say I was quite addicted. Especially at the start. So there you go.
Ooh. Okay, a little bit of maybe unhealthy, but I mean, it's getting you to do something productive, and I think that's good.
That's true.
Yeah.
Silver lining argument.
Yes, yes, yes. So you started streaming this year.
I
I'm
did,
thinking
yes.
about starting next year.
Very nice.
What are some tips for someone who's looking to get into streaming but knows almost nothing, like me?
Okay, that's a very good question.
Yeah.
Organized. Wow. I love
Mm,
this preparation. I'm very,
yes.
very happy about that. So yeah, honestly, like a couple months ago, I knew nothing as well. I was in the exact same position as you. Like, I didn't know anything about streaming. I remember I spent one evening basically just watching I watched like 1 or 2 hours of just YouTube videos about how to set up OBS, which is the software that you have to use to, like, stream basically.
Right.
How to like set up on Twitch, like get banners, get channels set up, setting up social media and stuff like that. So I basically I just binge watched like YouTube videos for like an evening, and then I just knew all the
Okay.
basics. So one thing I would tell you, it's not that hard, honestly. Like, I know it looks really daunting because it's like, all these things, you have no idea what's going on, everything like that. But honestly, it's not that hard to get into. There are a lot of resources online for people and anyone else in chat who's thinking about streaming, obviously organized. If just to look at and watch videos. For me, videos really helped. I always like
Yeah.
to learn from videos and stuff like that. So yeah, I just watched a bunch of videos and basically just got into it. So it really isn't as hard as you may think. But saying that, there is still like a bit of a, because there's knowing how to stream and also knowing how to stream well, right? Like, for you to go
Right.
live, you could just literally spend half an hour, install OBS, and press the go live button, and you'd be technically streaming, right? But to do it well, I think there are some things that you have to consider. For example, like, you have to network quite well. You have to get your stream out there. It's not just about what you produce on the video and on the day and when you're actually live, but it's also what you do behind the scenes, if that makes sense. It's also what you do outside of that, and how you get people to start watching your stream. How you send the message out there. Maybe, I think Twitter is really important. Instagram, social media. Being on Discord, being in other people's streams. Just playing an active role in whatever game you want to play. What game did you want to stream, by the way? Do you have any idea? Or
I guess we'll see closer to the time.
okay,
But I definitely like to start either a Minecraft series if that's still relevant
yeah,
by in a year's time,
I'm
which it
sure
may
it
not
will.
be. I
I'm
don't know.
sure it will be. Minecraft's so massive, right? It must be.
Yeah, maybe some shooters, some things like that. But I guess we'll see.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you've been doing a lot of this networking thing then, right?
Yeah, so I think that's super important. So, for example, if you want to do Minecraft, even something you could do now is
Right.
just watch like different Minecraft streamers. And I'm not saying watch the big streamers. I'm not saying that they're bad or anything. It's not about that. But it's watching like some of the smaller streamers that you like. If you put a message in chat, they will interact with you. Maybe they just have a couple of viewers, or like 20 or something like that. So watching them and then kind of being active in their chat, basically becoming friends with them through Twitch. It's a great way to network, because then you can join their Discord server. You can maybe even like participate in their stream by playing on their server and stuff.
I see some salt. It's still
It's
relevant.
still relevant. Yes, everyone loves Minecraft.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, so just participating in their stream, networking with them, and like becoming friends with people. Like, I've met a lot of friends through Twitch, just other people who play Hearthstone that I've joined their stream. I've texted in chat for a bit, and I've become friends with them, and we've done a bit of like collab stream. Like, that's a good way to get viewers. So I think networking is actually really important. It may not seem important for something like this, but I think that's actually really important. It's something you can do. You don't even have to like start streaming. You can do it before, right? Like
Right.
making all the social media and stuff. So I think, yeah, that would be my biggest advice. Network.
Okay.
Something that I hear a lot, but I've actually put in practice for.
I gotta find some streamers to stalk. Okay.
Basically, yeah, it's just haggle them. You're like, please help me. But yeah,
Right. On the same kind of line,
okay.
are there any things that you realize now are either very difficult or very strange now that you're streaming, compared to when you were, say, like a viewer
Okay, that's a good
and you
question.
just didn't?
I gotta say, Argonised, these questions are through the
Ooh,
roof. Beautiful.
yes.
Anyway, so yeah,
Yes.
one thing I'd say, it is quite difficult to stick to it. Like, an important thing is to have a schedule and be
Okay.
consistent with that. But it's sometimes it is difficult to kind of like turn up, basically, which sounds bad, but sometimes you might just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, and you might just not feel like you want to stream for whatever reason, right? It might be a good reason, but I think what's important is kind of knowing how often you want to stream. Like not pushing yourself over the limit, not doing like, oh, I'm gonna stream every day, I'm gonna do 8 hours a day, because that's just not feasible for anyone, I don't think. You still have a life, you still got to do other things as well, and making sure that you know what your limit is, and not pushing yourself too far, but also pushing yourself enough so that you can stream and build up like a follower, like a viewer base and stuff is really important. So at the start, it was quite hard for me to stick to the schedule. I think that's one thing I would say. Like, I initially planned to stream. That's one thing I would say. Like, I initially planned to stream. That's one thing I would say. Like, I initially planned to stream. That's one thing I would say.
The volume.
Open the. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So initially, I was going to stream like 5 times a week. I was saying, oh, I'll stream like 6 hours a day and stuff, because I was like super excited. But I quickly realized that was kind of basically impossible. Because it is really tiring. Just you have to like manage so many things. Like, you're playing the game that you want to play, but you also have to make sure the stream is okay, make sure the audio is fine. So yeah, just don't wear yourself out. Basically, I thought it'd be a lot easier than it was. So when I was watching other people, I was like, yeah, they're just playing the game, right? Super easy. They press a button, they play the game. But even just like make sure the stream's okay, talking to chat as well, make sure you're always talking. That was really hard for me, because at the start I didn't get a lot of viewers, which that happens to everyone. So kind of just have to talk to yourself, which, to be fair, I do that anyway. Just talk to myself. But like, you just have to monologue sometimes, and it kind of feels strange because like you look over at chat and no one's there, and it can get demoralizing sometimes. But yeah, just being able to get through that and kind of just committing to it and being consistent. One thing that I didn't realize was so hard when I was just watching.
Okay. Well, I think I'm lucky in one sense, in terms of not being able to get off on the wrong side of bed.
Okay.
Because my bed's against the wall, so I can only really get off one way.
Oh, you found a life hack. Life hack. Love that.
Yes. Okay. Have you found out anything about yourself by streaming? Have you found out any weaknesses, any strengths that you have that maybe you didn't know about before? Because obviously this is a new experience.
The new experience, yeah. I found. Okay, so I'll give a strength and give a weakness, I think. One strength I would say is that I have found that I'm more confident than I thought I was, because I was very active in trying to basically harass other people, like other Twitch streamers, about like collaborating. Pardon me, and just like actively going and DMing them and like joining their stream and like talking in chat. And like talking in chat is another thing. I don't know if you do this. Like, do you often like talk in other people when you watch Twitch, like talk in their chats and stuff?
So I don't participate at all.
You don't participate at all.
Just,
okay.
I'm a ghost.
You're one of those lurkers. Yeah. You're a lurker. That's what you.
I don't say anything.
Okay. I think I was like you as well. Before I started, I was very like they're not gonna read my thing. I can't be bothered to text to message something onto the chat. I'll just watch them. But I think like something that I've done more because I kind of needed to try and network. Just like talking in chat a lot. And it did kind of boost my confidence a bit, even though there's kind of this screen in between the person.
Right.
Just like, and also just kind of being on camera as well. Like, gave me a lot of confidence, I feel like. So that's one strength that I feel like streaming has kind of enhanced. And a weakness, I'd say, kind of going on to my previous point, is just sticking to the schedule and making sure that you're always kind of like in a good mood, right? Because even if maybe sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, because my bed is not against the wall. I'm not as smart as argonised to have that
you gotta move it.
innovation. Yeah. But sometimes, I'm just, you get, in a bad mood sometime, but you still have to stream because you promised your viewers, right? You have a schedule, and kind of just being able to get past that and still be positive on stream and still talk, not just kind of do nothing. Because sometimes at the start I would just kind of show my bad mood on stream, which I think was quite bad. So that's something I'm still trying to learn, still trying to fix as well. But that's why I say a weakness. Yeah.
Okay, so do you currently have a schedule?
I do have a schedule. Yeah, it's not really set in stone, because the thing with Hearthstone is they have a lot of like tournaments and stuff, which kind of they post it like not too far in advance, so it's hard to kind of schedule it. But I have like a rough schedule. Yeah. So right now it's 4 times a week. Normally
that's good.
After dinner, so around this time basically. Yeah, for like a couple of hours, 3-4 hours maybe. That's my.
Okay. Are there any things that you do to keep your energy up? Because you mentioned that sometimes you brought a bad mood into stream.
Yeah, yeah.
Are there any
So
ways that you can combat that?
just like having water beside, like I currently have this drink. Okay? Just having like water constantly
Okay.
beside you and like staying hydrated as well, and having some food.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
and like taking a break in between your stream. Like I don't know how long you plan on streaming, but if it's something
Right.
like 3 to 4 hours, definitely like in between. Okay, I'm gonna take a little, refreshment break, whatever you want to call it, like toilet break, and just have like a be right back screen. And kind of just take a break for
Okay.
like 5 minutes, right? Maybe eat some food. Kind of, yeah, don't wear yourself out. It does get tiring for sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You're making me thirsty now.
I just mentioned water. Now you're drinking. I have to drink.
Wow.
What do you think about? Have I given you like more inspiration to stream, or like, how do you feel about it? Because obviously you've been with me through this whole process as well.
Yeah.
By streaming. What have you found?
Yeah.
What have you?
It's been interesting to see you kind of come out of your shell on stream, I think. Um, I'm sure initially I'm sure initially it was very hard to monologue, but seeing you interact with chat and stuff, it looks very fun.
It
Um,
is actually
and
really fun.
even just reading chat now, it's pretty fun to see.
Thank you everyone for joining. It is nice to read
Yes,
chat, isn't it? Because, like they're taking time out of their day to watch you basically play a
yeah,
game. I mean, we're not playing a game right now, but normally, right? So it's
playing the
quite
game
it's
of life.
nice.
Yeah.
Game of life. But yeah, I'm glad you yeah, you're gonna yeah, I think you'll love it. I think you'll love it, dude. Honestly,
Okay,
it is really fun. It is hard
right.
at the start, but yeah, I definitely think you'll love it.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that you've been participating in tournaments.
I did, yes.
How's that gone?
That has gone. I've actually won a tournament.
Okay,
But I haven't also had a lot of tournaments where I haven't really done as well. Maybe a couple of first round exits. Um, but yeah, I
okay,
have won a tournament, and I've done quite a how many? I think maybe like 6 or 7. Not an exact number, but something like that.
that's a lot of
That is
tournaments.
a lot of tournaments. Yeah. Um,
Okay,
done a lot of tournaments, but they've been honestly really, really fun. Like I didn't realize competitive Hearthstone could be that fun. Honestly,
right.
it's not something I've done before. It's something I've only done because of streaming, I guess. And it's been so good. Like just like have the adrenaline and like when you're playing the matches and stuff. It's and obviously it was nice to actually win the and everyone in the community. So yeah, it's been a really good experience. I'm glad I did it. At the start, I was like, I'm a bit shit. I don't think I'm good enough to do the. You kind of have this barrier. Like I think everyone has that when they start something
Okay,
new. But I'm just lucky that I got out of my shell, as you say, and took the leap of faith and did some tournaments, and actually paid off, which is nice.
okay. Well, so I've never played Hearthstone, so I don't know what tournaments are going to be like. Are there any big differences from streaming, say, a tournament, to just streaming casually, like playing Hearthstone?
Um, so it says your mic is cutting out a little bit, my G.
Oh,
Hello,
okay.
Jin. Welcome. Should be okay. I'll try and sit a bit close to my microphone. I apologize.
Oh, thank you, Hot Russian Singles.
But
You're a high quality cam. No.
ooh,
Uh,
organized. No, keep it together. All right. Can you repeat your question, please?
okay. So I was asking, are there any big differences between streaming a tournament, say, or just streaming casual Hearthstone
There
that
actually
you've
is.
noticed?
Yes. So normally when I do the tournament, I do it on a delay. Um,
Okay.
you know what that means? Like, do you know?
I'm guessing that there's some kind of time lag
You
involved.
find the word delay. Beautiful.
Okay.
No, but yeah. So basically, just in case like people want to stream snipe, um, like if I say I'm in the tournament and they're also like if they're my opponent, they could just come in and like see what cards I have and like basically. So because of that, I have to do it on a delay, and because on a delay, it's quite hard to interact with chat because the way the delay
Oh,
works is like they're watching it obviously on a delay. So then the messages like when I see them, I'm actually like 5 minutes ahead or 3 minutes ahead or whatever. So I can't really respond, instantly. So the interaction when you do a
see.
tournament is definitely very difficult. Like I still read chat, but to them it's like I'm reading it 5 minutes later, which I am. So it's a little bit more. It's definitely
Right.
less interaction with less interaction with tournaments. But when I'm playing like normally when normal stream, the chat interaction is very cool. Like having someone there like talking to you about Hearthstone or whatever.
Hmm.
Pretty nice. Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. Yeah, and obviously tournament you just have to concentrate. You have to like. I'm sweating more.
Yeah, that makes
I'm
sense.
more stressed out. Basically, I have to
Maybe
stay
it's
more
good you can't
hydrated.
read chat. Okay.
That's a good
Do
point.
you want to tell me a bit more about your YouTube? I'm a bit curious.
Oh, you're
How?
allowed.
What's the process?
You're
What's the
allowing me to
process?
plug. Lovely, organized. Oh, this
Yeah,
is set up. Okay, so
plug your YouTube.
so my YouTube, if you guys want to subscribe, is Howley_Haas. No, joking. Yeah. So, but what I do normally for my
Okay.
YouTube is not actually very high maintenance, because
Okay.
I stream on Twitch, and then because on Twitch it saves your stream basically. So when I have like a nice game of Hearthstone that I played, I put like a little marker while I'm streaming because you can do that,
Okay.
which is a very nice feature. I put a little marker and then like I go back after the stream, I go back to the video, I basically clip it within Twitch, and then like download it and put it onto this like editing software.
I
And
see.
then just kind of like put a little intro, put a little outro. It's actually pretty easy. But I think
Okay.
like what I'm doing is
See.
definitely not a lot of like not I don't do like cool edits and like you know what normally people do on YouTube.
Right. So you don't go out of your way to record things. You just
I have done that as well
have it.
actually. I have done that as well.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
cheating. Yeah, it is. Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
that's the reason I asked that, so you can clarify that you're not cheating all the time.
Oh yes, thank you, Agnes. Oh, this is lovely. No, I have done that quite a bit, but okay,
Hmm.
not quite a bit. Most of my videos, to be honest, are just highlights from my Twitch.
Okay.
But I have also recorded some, yeah. And honestly, recording some is pretty interesting because, like, I would slur my words a lot, so I'd have to like keep recording. This is bad, and I do it again. So I'd literally sit there for like 2 hours, like to record like a 5 minute like introduction.
Oh wow.
I think
Okay.
that's part of my like just in my head, like I'm like, oh, this is not good enough. I have to do it again. I think that will
Fair.
come with time. But yeah, that was one thing recording is because on Twitch everything's live. You can't really there's no editing, right? That's the one thing I love
Right.
about Twitch. Everything's raw and everything's real. Whereas on YouTube you can
Okay.
just edit a lot of stuff out, and that does take a long time. So most of the time I just do highlights. Feels bad, man.
Do you think you have different audiences then? Do you think some people only watch your YouTube or some people only watch your Twitch?
That's an
Or is
interesting
there some kind
question.
of overlap?
I'm not sure. Ooh, I think there probably is a different audience, but actually there are people who've come from my YouTube. For example, Tim. Shout out to
Right.
Tim if
I
you're
think
watching.
Tim's here actually.
I think Tim is here. Shout out to
He
you.
said, oh yeah, he did, yeah.
Say hello, yeah. So he was watching my YouTube videos, and he started commenting on them and saying like, "Oh, good game," or like whatever, like about Hearthstone, and
Right.
stuff like that. And then I didn't like post for like a couple of I think it was like a week, basically because I had exams. I didn't post a video, and he was like, "When
I
is your
see.
next video gonna come up?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna start
Oh,
streaming like properly after exams." Like streaming constantly and stuff. You should join me there. You should follow me on Twitch. And then he did. And then he started watching my streams. So I think there is some overlap for sure. There probably
okay.
is like a not everyone from my Twitch watches my YouTube and vice versa, right? But there's nice to see a little bit of overlap like on both ways. Pretty cool. I think
Right.
most people probably is quite an overlap. They
Okay.
do different
That's fair.
things, right? One of them, as I said, is live, and one.
Hmm.
What do you think about like which one did you want to do more? You said you're interested in live stream, but were you interested in YouTube as well, or were you just
Yeah. So I like the idea of playing story games,
okay?
just single player story games. But I don't think that that's very suitable for a Twitch audience, unless it's something that's choice based. Like I don't know if you've seen, Detroit Become Human.
Oh yes, lovely game.
They have choices and it's very linear. It's like one, two, three, or four.
You can like make
So
chat vote and stuff.
yeah, so people in chat can be like, okay, you got to do one. Obviously, one's the right answer, and then you can have like a bit of an argument in chat and stuff. But
Okay, that sounds interesting. You can't have that on YouTube, obviously, because
yeah, but I also think that watching someone just play through a story game can get a bit boring. So having that on YouTube might be better. But yeah, I don't know yet. I might
well,
have to do a mixture.
maybe yeah, definitely test both things. If the game does have choice, I think it's very interesting to have it on Twitch because like a lot of Twitch
Right.
is about chat interaction. Like, can you make the game interactable, basically? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but that's cool. Definitely try it out. Definitely try it.
Right. Have you started making money on Twitch or
That's the
no?
question. So I have not started making money yet. How
Okay.
Twitch works is you need to get affiliate. Basically, like you need to meet like certain criteria, and then once you do, you can
Okay.
start making money. But I'm not there yet, unfortunately. So I haven't made any money.
Okay.
Correct.
But soon.
YouTube is a different beast. You have to reach like 10,000 views. Something I don't know. There's something crazy. So definitely not on YouTube.
Okay.
But on Twitch I'm pretty close. I think I'm I think 7 followers away or something. Get affiliates. So
Wow. Okay, that's a lot closer than last time I asked you. Yeah.
I'm very happy with my progress so far. I think it's been surprising. I honestly didn't think I'd get it for a long time at the start.
Right.
But that's, as I said, like my confidence definitely at the start was very like, oh, my streams are big, no one's watching, and now I'm just like, I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. It's more important than
Mm.
thinking about what other people basically. But yeah, hopefully I get it
Yeah, I
soon.
think so too.
I get the moolah.
Yes.
um, but yeah,
Okay. So, in terms of earning money, would you ever consider a career in streaming or YouTube videos?
question. Honestly, I think it would be great. I think it would be like when I was younger and I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos and Twitch and stuff. I'd be like, wow, they're living their dream job. They just get to play games and make money, right? I don't know if you were the same.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
That was
yeah,
similar.
yeah. Like it's great because they're just playing a game and they're making money. Like that seemed crazy to me. But now actually doing it, it does like there's a lot of effort you have to put in as well. So it's not just oh they're playing a game, it's easy. They're just making free money. They still have to put the work in. So
I see.
honestly, if my Twitch does blow up, which touch wood, but I don't know if it will. If it does honestly blow up, then I will consider it. But right now, thank you for touching wood. Right now, it's just going to be like a side hustle.
Okay.
Because I'm still obviously we're both going to university at the moment. Still, when that comes back up, this is going to have to like sit on the sidelines for a bit. And exactly, Nicole, stick to econ, yeah. So exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, if it blows up, then yeah, like I'll do it, right? But I mean, like it has to like really.
Oh yeah, he'll take it. He'll take it,
Yeah,
chat. If you make him famous, he won't mind.
yeah. I mean,
It's
if I
okay.
have like 100,000 followers, I can't really say no, right? But
Yeah.
um,
If you want to.
I mean, I could say no, but more realistically, I will. Yeah, like stick to economics and university, and but it'd be nice to have this on the side, right? Because hopefully,
Hmm.
it will just
Okay.
it all depends, honestly. What about you? What were you thinking about? Were you just gonna have it as a side thing next?
Yeah, I think my view about it would be very similar to yours. If it works, it works,
Yeah,
and I'll get some nice money on the side that I can
nice
use for some
moolah,
hobbies
moolah,
or whatever.
moolah. Yeah,
But if it doesn't, then that's okay too, right? At least I had some fun.
that's a good way of thinking
Um,
about it. We're really the same,
yeah,
argonised. Look at that.
we're exactly the
We're the
same.
same. We're the same,
We're
chat.
watching a podcast with two identical people.
Yeah.
Uh,
As you can see via
okay,
webcams, we're the same. Okay, yeah.
right. Well, I think that leads nicely onto the main topic, the main juicy topic
It does
for our
indeed.
podcast. We're gonna have a little fancy title change coming
Boom,
up, I
there we
think.
go. What is the main topic, argonised? Tell
Game?
chat, tell everyone.
Well, aspirations, as you can read, I'm sure.
Okay,
Well, maybe you
aspirations.
can't.
Maybe
I'm
you
not
can't.
gonna.
Yeah, we don't judge
Okay,
here, but aspirations is what we're going to be talking about for the majority of the podcast. And yeah,
right.
want to start this off, or
Okay.
shall I? Excited.
Well, I think we should start where we left off, more or less, which is to do with streaming. So, has this process kind of changed your views on your aspirations, or has it given you some new ones? Maybe
The whole
uh,
streaming thing.
the whole streaming thing. Yeah,
I mean, I think I'd be lying if I said it didn't change the way I thought about my future. Like
okay,
before I started doing it wasn't even a possibility, right?
I
Like we were
see.
just talking about what if I become big and like can this become my job? Well, now that's a possibility because I'm doing it. And
Right.
it probably is a very small chance that I'm able to get big and really blow up. But that
Mm.
chance is still there now, and it wasn't there before. So I would be lying to say it hasn't changed at all. Now the question is, how much has it changed it? And honestly, I don't think it has changed it by that much. As I said, I'm
Fair.
still going to be focusing on university. I'm still going to be trying to get a job afterwards, doing
Right.
all that. And as you said as well, if this goes well, it's great. If it doesn't, we're not going to be that upset about it, right? We're still going to move on with our lives and go on to what we're going to do or what we planned to do originally. So I would say
Yeah.
it's changed it a little bit, right? But it hasn't changed it that much because I think the chance of me blowing up is very small,
Okay.
basically. Just
Fair.
because, yeah, that's not even me being like unconfident. Or something, but I think that's just how it is for a lot of people. It's very hard to kind of get big when there's already so many streamers that are already have been doing it for years, right?
Right.
It's just hard to kind of get into the market, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But I think
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, go on.
I think I want to do that. I think after seeing you do this, I think it would be nice if that was a part of my life.
The whole
I think
streaming thing.
the whole streaming thing. Yeah,
But
and just content creation.
how would it influence your like aspirations? Like obviously you haven't started yet, right? But just kind of
Right.
having
Yeah.
some thoughts about it now before you start. Do
Hmm.
you think it will change the way you think about your future aspirations?
Uh, I think we're in more or less the same boat. I'm still gonna try and get a job
We're the same chat. We're the same.
with it.
Exactly.
Exactly the
Look at
same.
us. Yes.
It's just, I think if I'm gonna be playing games as a hobby, it seems almost worth it to put it out there and just see if anyone likes what they see. Um, even if that's just this talk show, that's I'm still happy with that as long as people are enjoying it. Um,
And if you
but
get
yeah,
some money on the side, it's just a benefit, right? But I don't think that should be the main focus, if that makes sense.
right.
I don't think you should go into and be like, oh, I want this to be my job. I don't think you should see it as a job.
Mm,
You should see it as more of like, I love doing this. I'm enjoying, just kind of interacting with people and playing my games.
yeah,
And like editing and like I know you're a very creative kind of person, so you probably enjoy like editing the videos and making the thumbnails and stuff like that. Just
mm,
enjoying that whole process is more like, oh, like why am I not making money? More important to enjoy everything.
right. I see.
Um,
Okay. Well, in terms of money, are you the kind of guy who wants to have like a big mansion, a yacht, maybe 2 yachts, maybe a private plane?
and if
Are
you're
you that kind of
offering, if
person?
you're offering argonised, I wouldn't say no. Um,
I don't think I have those kinds
soon,
of funds.
soon. Honestly, like, okay, so a little bit of a disclaimer. We both do economics. Okay? I do economics.
Mm,
Organized does economics with maths, so
yes,
he's a smart one. He does more math. Um,
I'm a round boy.
so we do economics.
Mm,
So obviously, we chose to do economics. Okay, I can at least speak for myself, right? I chose to do economics because I wanted to, eventually earn like a high paying job. Right? That was my intention. Was that the same for you, or why did you choose economics?
Uh, I chose it because I was better at that than the other subjects that I took.
Okay. What were the
And
other
the same with
what were the
maths,
other subjects?
like physics.
Ugh, physics is that is
Didn't go so well.
physics is tough, man.
Um,
Physics is shout out to everyone
yeah,
doing physics.
I don't know how you do it, but
You're a god. That makes sense though.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
So you didn't do it with the intention of I want to be a banker. I want to be, whatever, consultant, investment banker. Like that wasn't your goal. That wasn't your aspiration.
Uh, not really.
Okay.
Um, no, I'm not about that. I don't want to have too much money. If
What?
that makes
You
sense.
don't want 2 yachts and a mansion?
No,
Okay.
I think maybe one yacht and
And a
and
smaller size mansion.
a countryside vineyard is maybe enough.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Uh,
And maybe a plane on the side. I don't know.
a couple planes,
Oh, a
yeah.
couple. No, I think that's fair
Uh,
though. I don't think it's all
yeah.
about money.
Mm,
As
mm,
it's not all about the money. Who sang that song? Thanks for that song. You know what
like,
I'm talking about?
yeah. Is it cash? No.
That we're
Price.
banking.
It's called Price Tag. I know
Yes,
the name of
price
the
tag.
song.
Oh my god, my mind is going blank. But yeah, it's not all about the money, money, money. Okay. Um,
I'm gonna Google this one.
we're
Uh,
gonna remember it in two. Without any
I don't
Google.
think I will. Is it Jesse J?
That's
Oh,
it.
it is Jesse
It's
J.
just J. Oh, did you actually remember that?
Yeah. Okay.
All right, okay, just yeah. So it's not about the money. I think it's probably a better way of going about it. Like, it's the same thing with
Okay.
streaming, right? You shouldn't go into the like whatever you do in the. If I don't make money, I'm sad, or if I don't make money, I failed. Like if I don't, as in like
Mhm.
if you don't make a lot of money, right? Obviously, you make some
Right.
money to be able to live, but I don't think it's all about becoming a millionaire and stuff. At least not for me as well. And it doesn't seem like it's for you either.
Okay, but earlier when you were explaining that, you said "was." So was that initially your intention?
Ooh, what, look, chat. Have you look at Argonized? He's picking up all these Wow, that's impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, it was.
Okay, I thought so.
What?
Okay,
How are you
so
so
why
good
is
at
that
this?
changed?
Chat,
Why is that
this
changed?
wasn't planned, by the way. I just know. Um,
That's why people shouldn't go into investment banking. Yes, it's not about the money,
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 money.
money. Yeah.
Okay, so when I was a child, I'm gonna
Okay,
be honest,
right.
right?
So,
So,
why did that change?
this
Okay,
show's called
sure.
DMCs. We're never gonna lie. We're always gonna be honest about what we feel, like
I mean,
what we're talking
we
about.
can lie.
I'm not
It's
gonna lie.
probably wrong. Okay.
Organize, maybe he'll lie. I don't know.
I thought some yeah.
Just throw some lies in there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like honestly, when I was a child, I wanted to become filthy rich.
Okay.
Like rich. And as I've grown older, I've just realized that that's not what it's all about. And
Okay.
Yeah, like it's not all about the money, money, money. We're gonna stop using
Right.
this line. But like, yeah, when I got on, it's just not all about the money. Do you agree with the phrase "money buys happiness"?
I think it can up to a point.
And up to a point. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I'd say I agree with that.
I think in a literal sense, you can buy happiness, right? In that you could maybe buy some drugs that make you happy, or you can buy a jet ski or something like that, right?
Or a mansion and two
Um,
yachts. Yeah.
but there's a difference there between short-term happiness and long-term happiness. So
Very
I think,
interesting.
yeah, so I think you can buy happiness, but you can't buy contentment.
Lasting happiness, contentment.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
cool. So you think money can buy you happiness, but it can't like maintain it.
yeah.
That what you're saying? I'd say I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. Yeah, and that's why
Okay,
it's not just like it's more important about building a relationship. Um,
right.
and
So
like
is that what you think it's all about? Because you were saying earlier that it's not about money. So I was going to ask you what you
are
think
you
it's
asking me
about.
what I think life is about? Holy shit.
Well,
Um,
you you know what it's not about. So
not about the. Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna sing
not
it
again.
again.
Please not again.
Um, I
Okay.
think I think I think life is about learning basically. And
Learning.
I think a lot of learning comes from like learning with from other people. I think that's the best way to learn because you want to be meeting people that just do things differently to you, do things maybe better than you, right? And you want to be
Sure.
taking that in and learning. And for example, I'm going to talk about you for a bit here, Argonised.
Oh boy.
And I mentioned it earlier that you're really creative. And he is like Argonised is very creative, and he's always enjoying to do like the artistic kind of thing.
Right.
And it's something that I'm not really creative at all. Probably because I don't think I'm very good at it. But like
Okay.
whenever, so here's an example. Like obviously for YouTube, you have to make thumbnails, right? And actually,
Okay.
Organized made a thumbnail for me once by YouTube, and he just offered to do it because he just like
Don't say which one it is.
I won't say which one it is, but bonus points to anyone in chat who can find the video that he made.
Oh,
Oh yeah, like you offered to do it, right? Like you were like, yeah,
mm,
I'll do a thumbnail for you. Like I want to do it, and at the time I was like, wait, what? Why would you want to? I didn't want to do it. For me, it was like a chore. For me, it was like I
sure.
had to do it for my YouTube. I didn't enjoy the whole creative thing, but you always did.
Mm,
And yeah, and then that means like you're better than me at the creative thing, and I want to learn from you because of it, right? Like that's so
okay.
cool. I want to learn because I'm not good at that thing. But now let me learn from you, and that applies to many different people, many different situations as well. So that's why I think life is about more so than money. Um,
Okay.
and that's
So
something you
you think
can't
it's about
buy, right?
learning?
Yeah,
Well, you can buy an education,
I guess
right?
you can buy
I
like
mean,
creative classes, whatever, like how to
yeah.
graphic design or paint. Sure, but
Mm,
I think it's more important learning it from like a friend or maybe family as well, or just
okay.
someone like a mentor that you look up to. Just learning all these things really important because like that doesn't happen for money. You're not charging me for this. I hope not. I'm gonna send a bill
Only
tomorrow.
if only if the video blows up.
Fuck
Then I
that.
want to cut.
Fuck.
Uh,
No, but yeah,
yeah.
like just like it's something like when you pay for something, it's like it doesn't feel as real as when you just like make friends with someone and naturally.
Okay. I think it's interesting that you say that because we're currently essentially buying our university education.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so do you think that there's a huge difference between, say, going to university or maybe becoming friends with a professor by chance and then having him teach you?
Well, I think that the latter of what you said is very unlikely. That's the issue. I think like the whole education
Okay.
system, like everyone's kind of brainwashed into have to go to university. And I was definitely brainwashed
Right.
into that thinking as well. And this kind of links on to aspirations because I think a lot of people's aspirations are heavily influenced by our parents. I don't know if you
Okay.
agree with me on that one,
Sure.
but I think like my parents were definitely saying like university is the best thing to do, and maybe it is, right? I don't know because I haven't tried the other thing. Like
Okay.
all I've done is to go to university and get my education, and yeah, obviously you have to pay quite a bit, quite a, not as much as America, luckily, but it's still quite a lot, right?
Yeah.
And ideally, yeah, I mean, I think people have done that as well, just like befriend someone who's in like high position, basically have them mentor you. I don't know,
Okay.
but that's probably unlikely, right? I think that doesn't happen a lot. But obviously, ideally, in an ideal situation, in like a utopia, that would be fantastic. And you don't have to like pay for it. But the truth of the matter is, we have to pay.
Okay. Wait. So you think it's because of the? So you think learning is better if you don't pay for it?
Also, not necessarily it's
So
better, but I mean, obviously, it's better if you can learn the exact same things, right? It's hard to quantify like
okay, well then I see that.
the
I see that.
quality of the like obviously when you pay for university, depending on the university you go to, you're probably gonna get quite like a good education, right? Because they know what they're talking about. Then if you
Right.
just talk to like Joe from Joe on the street, he's probably not gonna know anything about whatever. As much as
Well, Joe.
you have to like for Joe, F in the chat for Joe. Um, but yeah, like obviously you pay for what you get, hopefully. So but ideally it would be great if everyone could just like learn from each other.
Okay, that's
What do
interesting.
you think about the whole university?
Um, I think it was the right choice for me specifically.
Were your parents very advocate of like you going to university and instead of
Oh
like
yeah,
okay,
yeah. They still are. I mean, they're still very much trying to get me to further my education after this too.
you like a
Um,
master's?
yeah, like a master's, that kind of thing. But I can see why, if that makes sense.
Okay, why do you think our parents are like
Uh,
that? And most parents, I think.
well, I think it's because they believe what you believe about life and how it's about learning. Um, and this is basically a good way to learn about a topic that either you're passionate about or you're good at,
Right.
or both. Um, and it just guarantees that your mind is still running properly up until you get a job, and then you can kind of say, okay, I finished my education, and that's fine. Um, but yeah, I can definitely see why. I think it's a good thing that I've continued my education, um, just so that I'm more cultured, and if I see something, the chances are that I'll know more about it in general.
Right. And because you've learned the thing, right? So like you've enjoyed
Yeah.
learning like things.
Yeah. So I mean, we're doing economics, right? And what I'm hoping is that at the end of it, I'll be able to understand just any article I see in like The Economist or something, right? I'll just look at the title and be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Understand the
Uh,
world.
or even better, if it doesn't make sense to me, maybe I can deduce why that would happen. Um, and I think that that's a good skill to have, and that's obviously true about other degrees too. You can say the same about maths, physics, any of the, well, especially the STEM stuff, because
STEM
that's very
stuff. Yeah.
applied. But
Yeah. Yeah.
even like the arts, I'm sure it applies there too. Um, and I think that doing this has made me more, um, I mean, as I said, cultured, but also open-minded. I think, yeah, because I think something you learn in university, or at least I learned it in university. Maybe it's not university that
Yeah.
makes you learn it. Is about perspectives. Uh, so I've noticed that in the past, I definitely thought people just saw the world the way that I see it.
Okay, that's interesting.
So when someone says something, either I'm like, "Oh, why would you say that? You obviously know this information,"
Yeah.
because I know it, right?
Right. Right.
Or they'd feel something that was foreign to me, and I'd be like, "Wait, but that doesn't make sense, right? I've never felt like that.
Because
How
it
is
doesn't
that
make sense to
possible?"
you, so you think it's like
Yeah,
how are they thinking that? Okay, that's interesting.
yeah. Um, so I think it's important to not get into work straight away. I think sometimes,
And that's why you
but
want to do a master's,
but
right? You
that's
want to
specifically for me. I can definitely see the argument for getting into employment very early on, because it's just more practical, right?
get the moolah, which
Oh yeah, that's that's moolah.
oh, that's interesting. So you think university is definitely like so you said university has made you realize other people's perspectives, made you realize that like people think differently than you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So,
Can you elaborate
uh,
on that a bit?
sure. I mean, well, a little bit of background on me. Um,
Yes.
so I went to like a a single faith primary school and secondary school, right? Where everyone was like, "Oh yeah, Jesus is cool," um, and that kind of thing. So a lot of the time in philosophical discussions and stuff, people would bring up the same kinds of arguments that I'd have in my head because like they were put there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but now, after experiencing just more people, right? Just widening the sample space, if you will. I
meeting new
think,
people. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's kind of broadened my my outlook, I think.
Okay, that's interesting. I guess when you were younger, you just didn't meet as many people, right?
Wait, hold on. Give me a minute. Got
Welcome back.
some goodies. Got some free food
I'm
for this.
jealous. What did you get?
Got some free food. I don't know what this is.
Let's see. Show everyone in
I
chat.
couldn't tell you what. Do they look like crackers? I got some free food.
Oh, that looks
I
great.
will take it. I will take it, and I'll munch on it later. Okay.
Okay, yeah. I was
Uh,
saying, you were
right.
saying, yeah, when you were younger, you didn't meet as many people, so you were a bit like, because they all thought the same, right? They had the same kind of ideas, so you kind of naturally also had the same ideas,
Yeah, yeah.
and were kind of
And
foreign to new ideas. So when people started bringing new ideas to you, you were like, no, that can't be possible because that's all I know. All I know are these ideas that are being, put into me, because of these people I've met when I was younger. Is that right?
mm, and I think that becomes apparent to people when they meet people from different backgrounds or they travel.
And like cultures as well,
Um,
right? Like different countries.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I think that's super important.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember a lot of times when my mindset just changed completely. And one time was when I went to India, and I just saw like the mass poverty and stuff.
That must
Uh,
have been hard.
yeah, and it really makes you realize that people are definitely a product of their background a lot of the time. So the way that people think and the way that people act and stuff is just completely different because they've just experienced so many different things that
Like
you
it's
can't
like a
even
different world, right? Like we all live in this world, but like people live
right.
in like different, as you said, because of how they were brought up and their upbringing and background.
Yeah,
That's why I think it's so important to learn from other people. Um, and if
right.
we just go back to that, like we were talking about university, but do you think personally university is the best way to learn things?
No, no, I don't.
What would you say is the best avenue for that?
It depends on what you want to learn, but definitely
Okay,
uh, just doing things
right,
is probably better, right? I think learning by doing
like practical.
is one of the best ways to learn. Yeah,
Yeah,
experience. Yeah, exactly,
exactly,
experience.
Nicole. Yeah, very well said. I
So
think
doing something like so I had 2 options, right? I could either do an apprenticeship or go to uni,
yeah,
and I think an apprenticeship is a great way to learn about the industry that you wanna get into. Um, but one of the reasons I didn't pick it was because I didn't know what industry I wanted to get into in the first place.
okay, I see. So university for you is more like testing the waters of like what you want to do. Is that
Yeah,
right to say? Okay.
yeah. So you'll notice I picked a degree that has economics, mathematics, and also a bit of
And you
statistics,
do
right?
stats as well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at the moment testing the waters, and then from there I can try and make a judgment.
I
But
think that's really smart.
in sixth form, I just didn't know, right? In sixth form, I was just doing things and going to like extracurricular stuff and just being like, "Oh, this is fun."
Yeah.
Um,
Like, you never thought like, can I do this the rest of my life? Right. Wasn't that kind of same for me as
I,
well.
yeah,
I think
I
that's
think
really
we just
interesting. That's really interesting.
drifted through.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
basically, like, I don't know. I think like, do you think the best way to learn is practical? Because like we learn so much from a textbook, right, and from like slides and from theory, like a theoretical side. But
Right.
then I feel like now, obviously, I haven't had a job yet. So I can't, speak from experience. But I feel like those kind of things that you learn once you get into like once you start working, wherever you work, right? For any industry, it's gonna be I think very different. Um, it's gonna be very different
Different
to
how.
what you learn on like a textbook.
Okay.
Um, I think like because there's so much theory, like the theory only goes so far, and as you said, like I think practical experience is more important, right?
Yeah. I definitely think so.
So if you knew what you were going to do in sixth form, would you
Right.
have would you have gone to university? Because you said going to university for like testing the waters.
Mm.
Let's assume that in sixth form you already knew what you were going to do, right?
Yeah.
Would you have then straight jumped to an apprenticeship? Because I'm not sure which is the better route for people. Obviously, it's too late for us, but just we can wind back the clocks.
Okay, wait. I just want to take a little break here. I can see why people say you sound American.
Wait, really?
You just said route.
I never say root. I never say root in real life.
Wait. Okay, maybe you're just American then. Okay.
You're just American. Okay, so what do you think argonized that? Yeah, go
Oh,
on.
okay. So I'm thinking that no, okay. Well, okay. To answer your question,
Yes.
I probably wouldn't have. I still think I would have gone to university. Part of that's parental pressure. Part of that's also if you know which industry you want to get into and you get a degree, sure, it's like 3 years that you could have spent doing work experience.
Yeah.
But I think you're more likely to be considered for things like promotions, um, or even just better jobs in the same industry.
Like you just
So
have
if I
access to
knew,
more jobs.
yeah, I think if I knew what I wanted to get into,
Yeah.
whether that's like, oh, I want to be a mathematician or whatever, I probably would have still gone to university, but just maybe picked a different degree.
Okay, that's interesting. So if you knew that, yes, you would have been more specific about your degree choice rather than rather than switching to apprenticeship entirely.
Yeah,
That's
I think
interesting.
so.
But you mentioned parental pressure. How much do you think parental pressure affects our aspirations?
A lot, right? I mean, I think it should for anyone who spends time with their parents, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Because I think definitely people are molded by the people that they're around,
That's true.
and
Yeah.
for people our age, especially, that's going to be our parents, right,
Yeah.
or our siblings. So, in terms of your aspirations and your goals, I think a lot of those will come from specifically your parents, or even just people you look up to that you know, like relatives or whatever.
Like a parental figure, right? It doesn't have to be parent specific.
Yeah, I think
Like
so.
just like a figure of okay, we are a product of our parents, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
Are there any ways you can see that in yourself, maybe?
like it's the same with you. Like my parents definitely wanted me to go to university. I'm not even sure if they know what an apprenticeship is. Not gonna lie, which sounds bad, but like it just shows how hard set they were on me being at a university. Um,
Fair.
and like I don't know. I know you were like you think university is the best choice. And good that you come to that conclusion, but I can't say that this is the correct choice because I don't know the other option, right? Like
Right.
I've never done an apprenticeship, for example, or anything like that. So yeah, like the reason I'm at university definitely is probably because of my parents. Like as much as I want to say it's because of me, and it was my
Right.
choice. I think a lot of it is just when you're a child, like parents just keep saying, "Oh, university this, university that." I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, guys. I'm just saying that's the reality. I think, and if we had parents that were not so university driven, I think we had a different path, right? Um,
Okay. Was the degree at least your choice?
the degree, actually, this is a funny story. So my parents really wanted me to do accounting and finance because they thought it was more applicable and I can get a job quicker because of it. And it actually took me a long time to basically convince them that I didn't want to just kind of like sell myself onto a specific topic, like what you were saying, right? Testing the waters. You chose maths, economics, and stats, right?
Yeah.
Just have like a broader range of things that you can go into. And I feel like if I just chose accounting, I would have just kind of I had to do accounting in the future, right? Whereas something like economics is more like broad. Obviously, it's not super broad, but I can go into pretty much any aspect of finance, and finance is a pretty big field. So
Sure.
at the beginning, they were like, no, why would you do economics? You're just gonna become like a theoretical economist, and you're not good at that. You're shit at writing and stuff like that, which is all fair.
Wait, they actually said that to you?
Basically, yeah.
Oh wow.
I was
Okay.
paraphrasing, but they were basically like, "Don't do economics," and it took me quite a while to try and convince them that I'm not sure if I convinced them to be honest, but I basically was just like, "I want to do economics. I want it's not just about me finding a job. I want to enjoy the degree," and I didn't feel like I would have enjoyed accounting and finance as much because economics is more you learn more stuff, right? Going back to the
Okay.
whole learning thing, I think learning is super important, so I wanted to learn more. I didn't want to just tie myself down to one degree, so. I actually broke out of the shell a little bit there with because if it was up to my parents, I would have been accounting and finance.
Okay. So are you looking at anything in particular then? I
Uh,
guess not accounting.
um, actually, ironically enough, accounting is the thing I want to do probably now, which is quite funny. Okay, which is quite funny, and my parents love to.
Okay.
Yeah, my parents love to
Oh,
rub it
okay.
in, but I still think like even like let's say in hindsight that I wanted to do accounting even from sixth form, I still don't think choosing accounting and finance would be correct. Just
Okay.
because in my opinion, you're kind of stuck on that. Like I chose to do accounting now because I did economics, because I like went to talks and I read about stuff and I eventually decided, but like still not 100% decided, obviously,
Sure.
because we still have a year left. If you guys didn't know, but yeah, like ironically, yeah, I do. Accounting finance is the more feasible option for me right now. But I still stand by my choice of doing economics just because I was able to learn more stuff. That
That's
makes
fair.
sense. What about for you? What do you think in terms of
That's fair.
aspirations?
Uh, I don't know. Just something in finance that isn't super stressful.
Yeah,
Um,
but not
I
like
obviously, yeah, like we all have the option of going into like investment banking, right? And I think Nicole was saying how people shouldn't go into investment banking.
yeah, she did.
I don't want to do that
I think
because
she
it's
makes
going
a
to be
really good
stressful.
point. Exactly. Yeah, investment banking is definitely so stressful,
You'll
right?
make you'll make a lot of money very quickly, but I don't want that kind of stress. So
Uh,
I think now I'm more looking for something that's more low key and just
something
very
like a
fixed.
9 to 5 or
Yeah, just like a 9 to 5 or an 8 to 4, something that you can rely on and you can just say, "Okay, I start now, I finish now, and I'm done. I don't have to take it home. Uh,
no homework, no homework.
I don't want any homework." Um, yeah, I don't know. I want something where I can still have hobbies. I don't wanna be called into the office at 2 AM and then to
That's
be
true.
like, "You gotta make this trade," or however it works.
Even though
Like,
that
"Look at
trade
these
might
6
make you,
monitors. What do you think?" I don't
yeah,
know.
even though that might make you a million, you don't think it's worth it then. That
No,
kind of stress.
no. Uh,
I think I
I
agree.
can
I agree
see
with that. Yeah.
see why people think it is,
Well,
because
people
I
love
just said,
money, right?
right?
Yeah.
Like, after 3 years, you can just go,
Yeah.
because
Basically.
you'll make enough money even just from bonuses and stuff.
Yeah. Basically.
But yeah, I don't really want that. I don't know.
I think it's important for like like the phrase work-life balance.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I think obviously we're not in the job currently, so we don't know how that really works. But I think that's
Mm,
super important. I think doing a job, as you say, like investment banking, there will be no life in that work-life balance anymore. Like yeah, you'll be
okay,
rich, but you have all this money, and that's the thing. Like it's not about the money because you have all this money. Let's say you do investment banking, but you're not gonna have time to spend it, right? I think you're just gonna be so busy that
yeah,
you're eventually gonna grow old, and you're gonna have the worst feeling I think in life is if you grow old and you have a stack of money behind you that you haven't been able,
sure.
like you kind of gone past your glory days or whatever, and you're not able to haven't been able to use the money. So it's like, yeah, I was rich and I was considered maybe a billionaire, and that's great, but
Right.
wait, I haven't done anything, right? I'm just I'm just really stressed, and I have like white hairs, and I go overtime constantly. So I think you have to do a nice little trade off there, and it's hard to say without actually being in a job, as I said,
Mm,
but I think that's super important. I think you're totally right about that.
okay. Well, I think we talked a bit about the present. What about the past? Is there anything
Okay.
that you remember as a kid, you were growing up and you're like, "Oh, I wanna be a policeman," or whatever?
Very good impression
Do you ever
of me as a child.
did you ever have anything like that?
I think the nice thing about like when you're a child, it's just so innocent, and
Like,
you kind of just pick the thing that is like the coolest to you at the time. Um, and for me, okay, I don't know if you can visualize me being in this position, but I really wanted to be a chef.
"Oh, wow. Okay."
The shock on your face says you can't visualize it.
I'm
um,
imagining you in a chef hat
yeah, that's what.
and
Yeah,
the white,
and like
yeah,
a white
but just
cloak or
as
whatever.
a child.
Like getting shouted at as by like
Right.
Gordon Ramsay or something. But yeah, like I really wanted to be a chef because I used to watch a lot of like cooking shows, like Master Chef or like all the stuff on BBC. A
Okay.
lot of cooking shows, and I was like, ooh, like you get to cook good food. Like I love eating food, as I cook my own food
Right.
and yeah, become a chef. But like one thing that I didn't like, my parents would always be like, don't become a chef. It's so like so hard. You have to go through the ranks, and you have to be in the kitchen like 8 hours a day, probably at the start and stuff like that. I think the cool thing about being a child is that when you are a child, you don't think about that stuff. You just think about the output. You think about the end. You think about, I want to be a chef because chefs are cool, but you don't think about what
Chef's cool?
how much effort you have to. Well, I thought chefs are cool.
Okay.
How much effort you have to actually put to become that, to become at that top level. But yeah, as a child, the innocence is innocence. What about you?
Okay. I I wanted to be a paleontologist.
What?
Yeah.
That is a big
Okay, I
word
don't
for a child. How old were you?
let me, I was 3 or 4.
Okay, disclaimer: I don't know what that is.
Okay,
And it maybe explain to
it's
chat for people in chat who also don't know what that is. How would you define that?
okay.
Because I have
A
no fucking
paleontologist
yeah.
is someone who specializes in prehistoric things, specifically dinosaurs.
Okay, okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. All right, how did this come
So,
about? Tell me the story. Tell me the story.
so when I was young, my parents kind of taught me like basic addition and subtraction using these dinosaur toys, right? Like these little dinosaurs.
Yeah, that
Um,
sounds very cute.
and then eventually I wanted to see them, right? And then my parents had a hard time explaining to me that they were all dead. Uh, but
Oh, that must have
but
been such a sad
me
talk. Yeah.
they could take me to museums and stuff. So I went to a lot of museums. After like nursery and stuff, I'd just go to the museum and look at the dinosaurs. And then I'd know all their names. I'd know I'd know like how big they were,
Oh,
if they
really?
were carnivorous or like herbivores. I'd know all sorts of stuff about them.
Wow.
And I really wanted to be a paleontologist and go on like digs and stuff and dig up dinosaur bones.
Oh, wait,
Uh,
that's so cool.
yeah, and that still seems cool to me. Like I'd still do that.
Do you think
It's
that's
just
do you think that's changed like now? Because obviously we're doing economics and maths, so it's not really
right.
paleontologist. But how has that changed from a wee child?
Well, I'd still do it.
Really?
Um, yeah, it's just I don't think I can with my degree.
Probably not.
I also
What degree would you need for that? Actually, I don't even know.
I don't even know. You could do like
Biology.
archaeology and stuff, but
I get maybe like history as well. Maybe
probably.
dinosaur
Uh,
degree. That'll be
yeah,
it's like a
I guess I'm
dinosaur.
not. Well, I wasn't that good at history, so I probably wouldn't do it. But that still seems good. That still
That's
seems
a very
cool.
cool one.
Yeah,
I'm trying to imagine you like digs
what a dig.
with like a pickaxe. Like you play a lot of
Like a hammer
Minecraft.
and
Maybe that's
chisel.
why you play Minecraft.
It's like
Yeah, you just start digging. It's like, oh, we found this, and like a really long dinosaur name that no one understands. But then you sound really smart. You know when they always say like a really long name, but no one gets it. But they just sound
yeah.
really smart when they say it. That could
Uh,
be you. That's really cool. Why do you think you like chose that when you were a child? Like what kind of drew you to that when you were a child? Do you think?
well, the museums, right? So like I'd spend so much time there, and I'd learn about all these other paleontologists. Like there's oh, I can't remember her name, but there was this great paleontologist who discovered this. I don't even remember the name of the dinosaur. Actually, I think it's the ichthyosaur. It's like a an underwater dinosaur, right? Very cool. She just found it walking along the beach, and then she became a paleontologist from there. She found the fossil and stuff.
That's insane.
Um, so like hearing stories like that, and then seeing the dinosaur bones, and then seeing like the weird animatronic dinosaurs that they'd make, and they sometimes display in museums and stuff.
Yeah,
That was very
that
cool.
really fascinating. Okay, you ever watch
Um,
like documentaries about them or
oh yeah, all the time.
like maybe some cartoons? There must be some dinosaur cartoons.
I don't know if I watched any cartoons, but I definitely watched documentaries,
Ever watch
like a little
documentaries?
uh,
Wow, that's kind of adorable. I can imagine
yeah,
young Argonized just sitting there.
just in front of the TV,
Dinosaur,
just watching
dinosaur.
Discovery Channel.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's so cool. Okay,
but yeah, so that's what I wanted to be as a child.
I
Um,
think it's really that
yeah,
we can still both go into this. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
you could be a chef. Why couldn't you be a chef?
Maybe a chef. Like,
You could
but
do
even
that.
if it's not a chef, like I could still just cook things, right? Like amateurly, like for my family and stuff, and like stuff like that.
That's true. Yeah,
And not necessarily be a chef, but just have it on the side, kind of thing. And you
you could
could,
still find employment as a chef though,
I could,
if you
yeah,
want.
but it's definitely less realistic. Like with your one as well, just because of the path that we've set ourselves.
Right.
Like obviously, I still could try and like find a job at a kitchen.
Mm.
I don't know how realistic it is now, but
Okay.
when I was like 5, I'm like, that's so cool. He's cooking food, and
Can we expect some Chef Howley videos on YouTube soon?
stay
Or like a
tuned.
cooking stream?
Stay tuned. That would be cool. I think people do cooking.
You should do a cooking stream. You should find out how, and then you should do it.
Will probably be quite. I don't know how they do it. Like, do they link the camera to their Twitch, or do they just have their phone? I'm not not
I think
completely.
it's from their phone.
Maybe that would be cool. There's a lot of IRL streams. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I'm not even gonna say I'm the best cook, to be honest. Like, I can cook things, but like,
Okay.
I wouldn't say I'm the best cook. What's your relationship like with cooking? Like, I know you like to cook actually.
I like to cook. Yeah.
You like to innovate, I would say. Like, you like to make your own recipes. that fair to say?
That's fair. I think that's
Fair to
fair.
say. Know each other.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think cooking is cool. I think it's a good skill to have, but maybe not a good option. I don't know. At least for
Uh,
me. At least for me. I'm not saying in general.
you could be the next Gordon Ramsay.
But I'm a
Yeah.
nice guy.
You could call people idiot sandwiches.
Gordon Ramsay.
Live on stream.
Gordon Ramsay's a legend, though.
That could be you.
That could be me.
Mm.
The world is our oyster.
Mm.
You could still be a paleontologist. Is it paleontologist?
Yeah.
I got it right. I was really scared I was going to mispronounce that. No, but you could still.
So
I'm sure you could volunteer and stuff. Like Diggs. I don't know if that.
Maybe.
But what are you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, you know the paleo diet.
Yes, vaguely.
That's related to that word.
Oh, how?
So,
In what way? You eat
so
eat
paleo
dinosaurs?
normally no. Paleo is normally used to do with like prehistoric things, right? And then they also call the paleo diet the caveman diet.
Oh, okay. Oh, so paleo means like old, prehistoric.
Yeah. So it's like things that you don't have access to now.
Okay, that's
Oh,
cool.
I think streams. Okay, the stream's fine.
That's a
But
fun.
yeah.
That's a fun factoid.
Fun factoid. Yes.
Stay tuned for more of these podcasts to hear more fun factoids. Factoid of the week.
Okay. Do you have any goals that aren't related to jobs? Because we've been very much career focused.
We have been very career focused, but that's a good question. I think let's get deep here. This is called DMC. Okay. Before I answer that, I'm gonna throw it back to you. What is your life goal? Would you? You could summarize it in one sentence. What would you have done to then say you've satisfied, like you've lived a good life at the end? You'd be happy with yourself. I know that's quite a hard question to just throw at you there, but
so
take some time to think about it.
For me, it's not so much to do with the things that I do specifically. It's more to do with the end.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So my goal is to die and not think to myself, okay, I wasted this time, or like I could have been spending this doing something else, or yeah, just
But like,
stuff like that.
no regrets, basically.
Yeah, no regrets, and also to look back and say, yeah, you know what, I've done some things that I'm happy with.
I think that's really good.
I don't know about the specifics yet.
Don't know the specifics.
It used to include like a family and stuff like that.
Right. That's okay. It's interesting you mentioned that. Why do you mean? What do you mean used to?
I've I've become very used to being single, so I don't know if that's I don't know if that's in the pipeline. If it is, then that's fine. But like before, that was fixed. Before I was in a state of like, if that doesn't happen, I'm not going to be happy with how I lived. But now I just don't really care.
That's really interesting you say that, because my answer to that question is going to be have a family. Chat. Okay, I promise this is not planned at all. It actually isn't planned.
Okay.
So why do you think that? Okay, wait. So why do you think you do you think it's unhealthy for me to have that fixed mindset? Like if I'm not in the family.
I don't judge. Okay.
We don't judge, chat. Also judge. This time I want you to judge.
Okay, you want me to judge?
What do you think? Honestly, what do you think? Like, why did you stop? Like, I know you said you've been single for a long time, but do you think it's incorrect to assume that's going to happen?
No. I think it's fairly like I feel like most people get into either like a serious relationship or end up having a family at some point. Otherwise, we wouldn't have such a large world population, right?
It's true. Facts don't lie.
I don't necessarily think it's unhealthy. Sometimes I think expectations can be unhealthy, but
that's very true.
For me, it's more about just the journey than having like fixed points where I'm like, okay, by 26, I want to like, have a baby. But by 29, I want to get a dog, or like all those things, right?
Baby first, interesting.
I would probably go dog first, actually.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. No, I think that's fair, because then you're like setting yourself up for failure, kind of thing. Not to say it's not gonna happen, but what if it doesn't? Then you're very sad about it, right?
Yeah, I have a few friends who say that they have like ages where they want to have done things, and that's kind of scary to me.
What do you mean by that? Like so what you said, like done this by this age, done this,
Yeah, like married by this age, have a kid by this age, like that kind of
but they've
thing.
actually like specified ages as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow, really?
yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Um,
Like for me, it's like I have like a rough age range that I want to do, but not like a specific. Does that mean that if they don't do it by that age, like if they're like one day off, they're gonna be upset?
yeah, like are they going to be sad? I don't know.
Like, oh crap, I just my
Uh,
birthday. No.
that seems really scary to me. Like, how have you planned that far ahead? I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. Uh,
Exactly.
but yeah.
Okay.
So, what's your age range?
My age range. I think like
Age range.
so. Ideally, this is what I'm just thinking now. Subject to change is that I'd get married at around like late 20s, maybe, because I'm in the mindset
Late.
of
Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
I'm in the mindset of like for my aspirations that I want to have a career first. And my
Okay.
parents are very like they want grandkids basically. And I'm sure like
Fair.
a lot of people's parents also want that if you're a similar age to us. Do your parents want that, or like, are they have they talked to you
They
about
don't want it.
they don't want it?
Uh, they're expecting it, but they don't like want it now. They're not like saying,
Oh, okay, okay.
"Oh, go and adopt quickly," or whatever. You
Yeah, okay,
know,
okay. Well, my parents like they really want their granddaughter or son or whatever.
they want
Um,
it now. Next
oh,
day delivery.
Amazon Prime? No, not like now, but like within the next couple of years. And I'm not sure if I'm
Oh,
willing to do that. Yeah, yeah, they do.
that's
Um,
very soon.
yeah, they think you're able to have like I'm interested to see what chat thinks about it as well. They think you're able to have a career and raise a child at the same time. But they yeah. What do you think about that actually? Before we talk more about, what's your opinion about that statement?
Uh, you prob- I'm sure you
I mean,
can.
like you can, but like, do you think it's a good idea? Like, obviously the child's gonna be fine, but like, do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, it's an idea. I mean, people live in different ways. Yeah, I'm sure you could. Um, but I see why you want to have a career first, because I feel like it can be a bit restrictive to have a child to come home to and stuff.
Probably right.
Especially if you want to do like if someone wants to do investment banking, I can't imagine having to wake up at 2, go to the office, come back at 3. Maybe your child's woken up and is crying, uh, that kind of thing.
Or maybe
But
like they cry, they wake you up, and you have to like tend to them, and then you have to make a choice like, do I go to the office? Do I look after my? You know, like I don't want to be in that situation.
right,
So
right.
my opinion is that I want to have a degree first, at
Okay.
least as much of a degree as possible, or I
So late 20s, we're gonna see a Mrs. Howley. Okay. And then
stay tuned to the
and
channel. Follow the
what
channel.
when are we gonna see a Lil Howley?
Lil Howley. Oh my god, that's kind of cute.
Rapper name. Lil Howley.
Lil Howley. Yeah, yeah. That'd be a good
Okay.
name. Yeah, and then I guess early 30s, right?
Okay.
Or
You're not worried about eggs.
don't worry about eggs.
Yeah, and how many eggs are left?
Oh, I don't think by 30 they're not. Are they?
Yeah, but it's getting
Really?
yeah, I think, like, around
Okay.
late 30s, 40s, it becomes a lot harder.
Yeah, it's definitely become harder. I mean, I don't know much about like
Worried about the eggs.
how that works.
Okay. Well, if you do some research, your time frame may go back a bit.
It sounds to me
Or
like
let's
you've done research. Is that what you're saying?
I really wanna remember the stats. There was a time when I when I heard it on, like, a TV show, and then I looked it up to see if it was true,
Or
and it's the numbers are surprising.
what was the
I don't
thing?
remember,
Oh fuck. No.
but it's a lot earlier than you think.
Really?
So,
Okay,
yeah.
that might change my thing. But like I'm very much in the mindset of like live in the present kind of thing. So I don't want to
Okay.
think too far ahead, but ideally that would be my. It's hard to say what the ideal is because things change, right? Like I don't know what's gonna happen in, as you said, you don't even know what you're gonna do tomorrow, right?
Mm,
Like I don't know what's gonna happen in a year's time. Like, I don't know where I'll be. Would I even be in, in the same country? Would I be masters? Would I be doing a job? I don't know, right? And I think no one knows. So kind of just live in the moment, and just enjoy what you have right now. And
okay.
it's not good
That's
to
very
over.
deep.
It's not good. It's very deep, meaningful conversations. It's the same of us. It's not good to have too many. Like you say, what your friends were like saying. Oh, I have to be married at 28. I have to be this that.
Mm,
I don't know if that's a good idea. Like I think that leads to more stress than anything else. I don't
yeah,
know.
it would be a bit sad if that was your goal when you're still single when you're 27 or something.
That would be very
You're like,
sad.
"Okay, I have 1 year."
then you're
I
stressed. You're
gotta
like,
go find
yeah,
someone.
if I don't find this 1 year, the world's gonna blow up or something. Like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna go on Craigslist now and find a find a bride.
oh god. Yeah, but you shouldn't
Uh,
put that like expectation on yourself. I think.
okay.
Or just on. I don't know.
Do you have
What
any plans for anything else that's not related to like family?
like
Or
my aspirations? Um.
yeah, or do you wanna travel? Do you wanna go anywhere?
Oh,
Do you
travel.
wanna
Okay, traveling. I would like to travel. Yeah, I haven't done a lot
like
of traveling to be honest. Because when
okay.
I was younger, I used to be really like motion sick, and like my friends who've known me for a long time. Oh god, I apologize. When I was younger, I used to like get sick a lot, and even like 1 hour car trips and stuff. I'd like puke and stuff. Which okay, probably TMI, but like I've got a lot better at that. Just because
Like
I've
the
grown
puking
old.
bit?
Yeah, like I'm
Like,
now able to catch it in a no, no, no.
okay.
Okay, I've stopped
Well,
like
I'm sad now.
I've got better with the motion sickness, so I'm able to travel more now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so traveling would be nice. Where would I go? I
Sure.
don't know. Probably like America. I would love to go to America. I haven't been to America.
Would you ever move to a different country?
That's a good question. I probably would.
Mm,
Yeah, I probably would. I'm not like hard against
okay.
it. I do love where I'm living right now, and like UK is great. Um, but
Right.
I wouldn't be against moving. What about you?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
It's just wherever the
Um,
wind takes us.
I just don't know how the job markets it may be different in other countries. That's the only thing. But yeah, I don't see why not.
I think it's good to
If
keep an
I
open mind.
can.
As
Yeah.
have have you been to America?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been
You've
a
been to quite a
couple
few
times.
places, right?
I've been yeah, so my parents had this great idea to take me all around the world when I was 2 or 3 because obviously I'd remember it, right, chat? Um,
Oh, yeah.
so there are a few places where my parents will just be like, "Oh, you remember going to Sweden, right?" I'm like, "No, I don't. I don't."
I feel like they just
Uh,
wanted to go on holiday, like take their
yeah, I
baby.
think they just wanted to go
It's
and
like
be
cute to have a
like, who are they
baby.
gonna leave me with, right?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
and also that logistically it doesn't make sense. But then
yeah.
everyone come like, oh, that's such a cute baby. They'll be like, oh yeah. Maybe yeah. Okay, so you've been to a lot of places, but you don't remember them.
There are a few places that I've been to that I don't remember. And
Where
then,
would you like to go? Like
ooh,
anywhere? Are any of those places that you'd like to go the same as places you've been already, but you just don't remember? That makes sense.
yeah, I wanna go to Turkey. Apparently, I went to Turkey at some point.
You're just
I think
like,
it was to, like, change flights or something, and my parents were like, "We got to go outside and explore with you," and it was like, "Do you remember?" And I was like, "No."
you know what they could have done? They could have like videoed it or something.
They should have videoed it.
And then you
I
could like,
think maybe video cameras were expensive back then or something,
yeah, they
but
probably were, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Turkey,
Turkey seems
Turkey.
good.
Where else would you say?
Uh, I wanna go to Australia at least once. I know it's like a 24-hour flight, but I think that's part of the fun. Uh,
Okay,
yeah.
personally, I hate flying. So, oof,
Well, yes, you have the whole motion
I
sickness
have the whole
thing, that
motion
makes
sickness,
sense.
and also the fear of heights, and also the fear of planes, and also the anything to do with
Like,
flying.
also if you're in Australia.
Also the fear
Yeah.
of... Dude, have you seen the size of their spiders?
I just want the Tim Tams.
The Tim Tam.
It's like a so I saw it today. There's this they have these biscuits called Tim Tams, and
That's a
they're
good
like
name.
chocolate biscuits, and you bite the 2 opposing corners. So if you imagine this is the Tim Tam, it's a bit big. You bite like this corner off, and you bite this corner off,
Yeah.
and then you can get a glass of milk, and you can drink the milk through the Tim Tam itself,
What?
because it's just like a hole in the middle.
Is it gonna change the flavor of the milk or something?
I think so, yeah, because it's like a chocolate biscuit.
That's so cool.
Sounds
For
pretty good, yeah.
one minute there, I thought you were gonna bite your phone to demonstrate, and I was like, wait, what's going on there? It's like he's holding his phone. Holy fuck.
No,
Um. Okay, that's really
uh,
Australia. Australia would be cool. Yeah. The
mm,
outback.
the epic.
Where
Yeah.
else would I like to go? I don't know. Like I think like
Maybe like
Japan. Japan is cool.
Japan is cool.
Everyone wants to go to
Are
Japan.
you a weeb?
I'm not a weeb. Are you a weeb?
No. I wouldn't say I don't think I've watched enough anime to call myself a weeb,
What
but
is
I
the
watched
definition of a weeb?
a weeb or a weeboo, someone who appropriates the Japanese culture in an
I've heard
inappropriate
you
way.
wait in an inappropriate way.
Yeah.
Oh,
So like they'll like walk into a room, and then they'll say something in Japanese or something that doesn't make any
oh,
sense
I
because they
see.
don't know Japanese,
Oh, okay.
and they maybe heard the line from an anime and they just can't pronounce the words.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't think that was. I thought it was anyone who basically tried to speak Japanese without being.
Oh no,
Like try to
no,
emulate.
like obviously you can learn Japanese,
Oh no, but like
but
try like people that try to emulate the anime. Right.
oh okay.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
think it
I
has to
mean,
be incorrectly. Okay.
yeah. So I saw a good example today on Reddit when I was just having a look around. There was this guy whose coworker was like a complete weeboo, and then he walked into a room,
Yeah.
spilled coffee on himself, and then uh, and then he said something in Japanese that meant uh, it's basically the equivalent like where is your hometown?
What?
Because he couldn't say the words properly,
What was he?
and then
What was he supposed to say?
just like that hurt or something. But
What was your? Okay, that's quite funny. Okay, I see. Oh, you've taught me
yeah,
something new, organized.
so
Okay,
that's a
taught me something new.
yes.
Then I was gonna say you're a weeaboo, but now you're not.
Okay.
Because I've
Um,
heard organized speak Japanese animes. I don't think you did it incorrectly, so I think you're okay.
it's that one line. It's the iconic line.
The
You know
iconic line. You want to do it for us?
the
Do you want to do a little impression?
the "Omae wa mo shindeiru," and then you go "Nani?" You know that one.
That was pretty
That's
good.
iconic.
That was pretty good. That is quite iconic now.
You gotta yeah.
That's quite iconic.
Oh, someone followed you.
Oh, thank
Thank
you for
you,
the follow, by the way,
Hans.
Hans. Thank you for the follow. Um,
Hmm.
what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, places to go.
Oh yeah, okay, so you wanna go to Japan. Is there anywhere else you're looking at?
I think like a road. You know, like what your parents did when you were a baby would be nice. Like a
What did
road
my
trip.
parents do when I was a baby?
Like when they
Oh,
took
like a
you
road
around.
trip?
Yeah, like they took around the whole world.
Okay,
I wouldn't take a
that
baby.
sounds
I'd wait for my baby to grow up so they remember. But
I'm glad you clarified it was your baby. I thought you
oh
were
yeah,
just
just like
some baby.
oh that's a baby.
Okay,
It's like go
yeah.
on, yeah. No, yeah, like I would. That would be nice. I think just like experience the world because it links back to what we were talking about earlier, right? Learning. Like I think you said, like one of the best ways to learn is to learn from different cultures, backgrounds, and the best way to do that
Okay,
is just to go to different countries, right? Because then you experience it firsthand, and you're
right.
able to learn more things. So I think traveling is really important. Actually, it's good that you brought it up.
Okay, so is there a specific reason why you wanna go to Japan?
I think
'Cause,
Japan's just cool.
I hate to disappoint you, but they don't have any 2D anime waifus.
Do they not? Crap. That's why I
No.
was gonna go. Oh,
Oh. Oh
wait,
boy, my camera has
camera has
disappeared.
disappeared. Hold up.
We're
Wait.
having technical difficulties, chat.
Technical difficulties.
I have disappeared.
I think
Yes.
I think that's okay. Organized. Do you think that's okay?
I think that's okay. I'd like to say that this won't happen in the next episode, but it probably will.
Probably will. We'll get
Uh,
better. We'll get better. I apologize. Okay, but let's go back to the topic of aspirations.
oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, what I think traveling is really important. Like, what other things do you want to do? Because I was talking a lot about myself, but like, what are kind of your long term goals that aren't really career related? Do you have any or anything different to mine? Or just
Uh,
even if it's the same.
I wanna have some interesting hobbies. You know,
Okay.
people ask me in like I remember I was doing a job interview and they're like, "Tell us a bit about yourself." And then I had to make up some stuff. It wasn't necessarily lying, I just kind of waffled.
Just to
Um,
like fill the space. Yeah.
yeah, but I'd like to say that I have some interesting hobbies. So I wanna gain some of those. Uh, I wanna read more books.
Oh, that's a good
I
one.
think that would be good.
On top
Um,
knowledge,
knowledge,
which
yeah,
is
all
power.
about that learning.
Knowledge is power. Check.
Uh,
Okay, that's
what
cool.
else? Yeah, I wanna do something on the side that helps people, but I don't know what that is yet. Maybe I'll find it some
Like
maybe like some
charity
volunteering.
work or something.
Could be, yeah, just something. I don't know. I feel like that would be nice.
That'd be cool. You know the classic saying that like, do you want to like leave the world a better place than you?
Ideally. I don't think that's possible a lot of the time, but
Yeah, I
ideally.
think that's very difficult, but that'd be cool. What do you think about Because I know some people, some of my friends who I've talked to, like their kind of goal is to kind of like leave a lasting effect on the world, right? Kind of like be famous, kind of like have something like in their name.
Okay.
They've done something that like influences the world, but like everyone knows about it and stuff. Like, do you really care about that kind of stuff, like the fame and the popularity, or is that not really a thing for you?
Uh, not really. I've just kind of accepted at this point that the likelihood of me changing the world is pretty small. Uh, so I don't think yeah, it's not on my bucket list or anything. Um, do you want to change the world, Howley?
I no. um,
Okay, that's
no,
good
I
to
mean,
say.
I was gonna say like I think I agree with you. Like obviously I'd like to do something that helps people as well, and ideally I
Sure.
would like to leave the world a better place than I found it, but I just think it's incredibly difficult, right? Be able to do that. It's probably very unlikely, as you said. So as long as I'm able to make the people around me happy and the immediate people that I can influence happy, I think that would be, because we were saying earlier, like, what is your what do you want out of life, right?
Right.
And what my answer was learning, but I also think another answer for me, I don't know, is just to make people happy and kind of like to be happy constantly. I think being happy is really important. Like having like mental health is obviously a big thing.
Mm.
I think it should be talked about more, and partly that's the reason we're doing kind of these DMCs, having deep conversations with
It is.
yeah, just to make talk about
Okay.
things that potentially not as often within conversations and stuff.
Sure.
So I think just being happy and like making the people around you happy is also very important. Um,
Okay.
very wholesome.
Well, then maybe you can even do that with your streams.
I could do that, yeah. I mean, ideally, like if anyone watches my streams wants to talk to me about something, I'm always going to be open for that. I'm never going to judge, as we said. Like even in DMC and stuff, if everyone wants to say anything or have an issue or a question that they want to ask, like we're definitely going to be open and definitely going to be open to discussing it.
Oh yeah, do chat know that they can ask questions?
Um,
Okay, chat, you can ask questions if you will.
did
Just
the thing
put
not
them
pop
in.
up?
Did you not send the message?
Guess it didn't. Okay.
So we were supposed to send an automatic message that just says you can ask questions in chat if you have any.
Yeah, like anything about anything that we're talking about, like or any just questions in general.
Yeah, and then
To
we'll like
either of
write them
us.
down, answer them at some point.
Yeah, we can tell chat to. We're going to be doing this. How often are we going to be doing this, guys? Why don't you tell the chat about our schedule with this specific show?
Uh, we'll see how it goes. Probably once every 2 weeks,
Once every 2
I
weeks.
think is a good time to like A, come up with topics to talk about, and B, just so that it's not too saturated, right? I feel like there's a lot of podcasts that people can
Yeah.
go to, or like talk shows like this one.
And we want to put some effort into thinking about the topic, so it's like enjoyable and like interactive with you guys as well.
Mm.
So yeah, as Argonised said, like if you have any questions about anything we're talking about, in the stream, in the show, feel free to comment them, and we'll probably answer them at the end. Right, we'll do a little like Q&A if that happens at the end of the stream.
Mm. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything that so we obviously talked about what we wanted to do as a child,
Yes.
and I think there's a good question that people sometimes ask, which is like, if you could go back,
Oh yeah, if you go back and tell your younger self, what would you say?
yeah, would you say anything, or would you just leave it? Would you
you
just like, walk by and be like, "I'm you,"
just look at
and then
them. You
just
just
leave?
stare at them profusely for like 5 seconds. You might get like the police might come after you, but um
Yeah,
yeah, that's a good question.
just
I
like
don't know
walk
if I
by.
imagine you just like imagine you manage to somehow travel back in time and see your younger self, you get to
Right.
speak, and you just like walk. I don't know if that would be quite funny. I think they just
Um,
like just leave. What would I say? That's a really good question. Actually, I don't know. You have an answer to that while I think.
I think there are 2 routes that you can go down, right? There's 2 very extreme routes that I'm thinking about at the moment.
Go ahead.
One of them's, just you just don't say anything, right? You just leave it because you know that things gonna turn out the way that they have currently, right?
Yeah, you don't want to cause a ripple in.
Or and this is where it gets interesting, and this could be like the plot of a movie. You go back in time, right? See yourself as a young child, and then you tell your past self all sorts of lies about what the future holds, right?
Oh,
It's like
okay.
you're gonna be an astronaut who studied paleontology initially, but then decided that that's not gonna work, so you went to space, and you're currently one of the first humans to set foot on Mars, and then you came back and you cured cancer,
Oh my
and
god.
then just give them all these lies
What?
and just see what happens.
You're playing with not only fire, but your literally your own life. Do you,
I think it would be so funny
do you think it will
to just
change?
watch. Yeah, I think it would.
Do you think you'd become the thing that you lied about?
Probably, right? That's what I wanna see.
I don't know. I don't think it's like.
I wanna see if that's possible.
I don't think
I
it's
think
just
that could
like
happen.
if someone just told you when you're a child, you're gonna maybe that's the push that people need.
because maybe you'd see like small signs, right? And then you're like, oh, this is happening because I'm going to become an astronaut.
Right, because you know that thing.
And then you like you grab onto that opportunity, and then you become an astronaut, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
It's like a
and then you do
self-fulfilling
end up being
prophecy.
one of the first people on Mars, and then you come back and find the cure for cancer.
But it's that whole
Uh,
like time travel thing. Like if you were to go back and change your timeline, then how would you have become future self to go back in the first place? Like, wouldn't you be deleted to order that time travel?
yeah, I mean, it depends on how you think time travel works. I don't know how it works because we haven't done it
Because it's
yet,
not
right?
real, Chad.
Uh,
um,
but if this is like some kind of, um, to put it more accessible, like some kind of parallel universe where there's no stakes, right? It's
Parallel
just
universe.
a parallel universe,
Yeah.
fresh start. It's young you, and whatever you do now isn't going to affect how you specifically turn out. Then yeah, sure, why not, right? Cause some chaos.
That would be really interesting. I was here thinking of something really to my younger self, and then
Okay, okay.
you're like, you're gonna be an astronaut, you're gonna be a millionaire, you're gonna be a. I think that's super funny. I think that's super funny.
Did you come up with something deep to tell your younger
I was too
self?
busy laughing at your answers.
Oh, okay.
I'd probably just say like, don't care as much about what other people think.
Okay.
That's something I
Why do
struggled.
you say
That's
that?
something I struggled with a lot when I was younger. I'd just be like, I'd care too much about what other people thought.
Okay,
And as I've gone older, I've just realized that that doesn't really matter. Basically, like what other people
sure.
think doesn't define you. And definitely at the beginning of my life, like it definitely did. So if I,
Say it like that.
I don't know, if it were
Okay.
to, if I were able to go back, I would probably say.
Okay.
And then the child version of me would be like, no, everyone hates me, and starts crying. And then like
Oh,
I'll have like a mental breakdown, and older me would have like, like take care of them or something. I don't know. Which would be
okay.
weird because it'd be a stranger to my parents. But actually, probably wouldn't because it would recognize me. I don't know.
Would
It's
they
weird.
they wouldn't recognize you, right? Because they don't know what you look like.
I guess, but maybe they would because I don't know. Would they?
I don't think they would recognize you necessarily.
They might because you still look like the child that they have, right?
Yeah, but you also just are an adult
At like 20 years older, yeah. But
who's
maybe
just touching their child, right?
I just say it like
So I don't
that.
know if they'd really care if you looked like their
It's
son.
like, hey,
From the,
stop touching our child. You may look like our child, but you can't touch our child.
yeah,
Like, what's
they'd
the
probably
point?
be more concerned about other things.
Probably, but I'll just be like, hey, kiddo, come here, and just like take. Then like this is how I got
Oh
lost
no!
in the mall when I was like 8 years.
Don't continue that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's. This is.
We just lost a viewer because of you saying that.
There's no more episodes of this because we're gonna be, in jail. Uh, but yeah.
No. Okay.
No, but honestly, yeah, I think I would say something like that.
Okay, I think that's a good message. I
What would you
think a
say
lot of people.
if I were to like a deep thing that you would say? What would you say?
Uh,
Honestly, think about it. I want you to think because this is quite a hard question that you've brought up here, but but I think it's really interesting. Basically,
so
asking what you would change about yourself.
so am I going back uh,
Let's
as
say,
me currently, or am I going back as me in like a couple like 20 years
um,
time?
let's say it's you going
What are the
back
stakes?
with all the information you have now, like everything you've learned up to now, and you're
Okay.
going back to when you're like 5 or I don't know, whatever. What would you say?
Uh, I'd probably just go back and say, yeah, everything turns out okay. You don't have to worry about anything. Uh,
So cute. Sorry.
yeah,
Like, don't worry,
'Cause-
basically.
yeah, basically, right? Because I think especially during like GCSEs and A levels and stuff, I was so stressed, and the worry just kind of ruined the whole experience for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I also don't know if I'd take to heart what future me would tell past me because I'd probably be like, oh, what does he know, right?
That's another issue. Yeah.
Uh,
Like,
but
how would you actually believe it?
right,
Probably not.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'd probably say something like that because um, I think just knowing that things turn okay at least until you're 20 is good knowledge, right? Because you can be like, okay, I have until then, and then maybe things will go downhill from there. But at least the first 20 is guaranteed
Right.
to be okay.
That's a good
Yeah,
one. Like, don't worry as much.
yeah,
I think a lot of us did
uh,
worry when we were about, I guess, I don't know, about things that may not be as significant now if you look back. Like, we obviously not saying that when you worry about GCC stuff that was like shouldn't have worry, but maybe the stress
right,
wasn't worth it. I don't know.
yeah. It's just made it worse, I think. But yeah,
That's kind of sad. Saying it like killed the experience for you. Like, didn't enjoy the Like when you got the result? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So the story behind it is, my parents could like see that I was stressed, right, during GCSEs and stuff,
Of course.
and they were like, "Okay, we're gonna go on holiday afterwards as a reward because you've finished it, right?
That's
You
cute.
can go and relax. You can have a good time." And I went, but I spent the whole time just thinking like, "Oh God, what if I don't get this and then I end up here? Uh, like, am I going to get into the sixth form that I want to get into?"
Oh, that sucks.
Um,
Yeah. Basically, just couldn't
yeah,
enjoy the holidays.
yeah, I just didn't enjoy the holiday at all. So I
Oh
was just
wow.
sitting there worrying. And I think that just ruined it because like, there's no point, right? Whatever I got was fixed, and it's not like worrying about it would have changed it.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. Like you already done the exam, right?
Yeah,
It's like
my grades were
it's
fixed.
not like if you were worried to worry more, you get a better grade or worse grade.
Mm,
Um. So I think just yeah, like not yeah. That's cool.
yeah, but then when I collected the results and stuff, I wasn't even happy.
But
Like I did pretty well.
you got a good grade, right? Yeah.
I did pretty well, yeah, but I wasn't even happy about it because I was just worrying the whole time that I just like when the results were finally there in front of my face, I just didn't really care.
Really.
Yeah, like I just didn't.
So it really took away from
Yeah,
that.
I think so. I should have been a lot happier.
So
Uh,
life lesson chat: don't worry as much. I also don't. What did I say? I don't even know what I said. I tell myself.
you said to not
Oh
care
yeah,
so
don't
much.
care what other people think.
Yeah.
Um, those are both pretty good life lessons. Look at us
Mm.
giving life
Was
lessons.
that a good? So do you want to explain your struggle with that, or
As in, like, because I didn't. That was a good question. Yeah, like that was a very unexpected question. So I had to think about.
okay?
Is that what you mean?
No, I meant about the not caring about what people think. Like, did you
Oh,
struggle with that, or
I
yeah?
thought I thought you meant why.
No, I didn't.
I thought you meant why did you struggle with this question so much?
No, that's not what I.
I thought you were trying to make me
No,
plug that you asked a good question.
no,
Okay.
no.
Wait. So
I'm
you're
not like that.
okay. That's just me. I'm the only one who plugs. So you're saying, wait, why did I care about what other people think so much?
Uh, no, not like why. I understand why. It's just like, do you want to talk about how that was maybe
Like,
not such a good thing for you?
okay, yeah. I mean, it's kind of links onto what you were saying about the whole like you've done the results already, and then like it doesn't matter what you think; it's still going to be the same. But it's just in this case, it's what other people think, if that makes sense. So like sometimes I would have done something in my life, like in school or whatever, and then someone would say something about that, and it
Okay.
would change the way I perceived on like how I did that action, right? So let's say I did the thing, and like initially I thought it was fine, but then someone later on came to me and was like, "Oh, what you did there was really embarrassing, or it was really stupid, or whatever," right? Then
Okay.
I would believe it. Basically, I would be like, "Oh yeah, shit, he's right. I'm such an idiot." And even though like the only thing that changed there was someone whispered in my ear, right? The action was still the same. And initially I thought initially it was fine, right? Initially I was like, yeah, it's nothing. Like, I didn't see it as a big deal, but then when someone like mentioned it to me, I immediately changed my opinion. And I just don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should listen to what people say because they don't always have the best intention for you. Um, Sometimes they
Okay.
do, but yeah. So like, it just I wasn't being very true to myself because I was very kind of focused on what other people were saying and taking it as fact, um, and kind of letting it change my opinion about certain things. I think is bad.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
That's strange because I had the same problem, but in the opposite way.
Okay, what do you mean?
So I also had so in sixth form especially, I cared a lot about what people thought of me.
Okay, yeah.
Um, but it wasn't necessarily things that I did in the past. It's things that I could do now or in the future.
Okay, so like,
Um, so like if I was
do
going
you
to
have an
walk into a
example?
room,
Yeah.
maybe I'd like fix up my hair beforehand, or maybe I'd like put on some deodorant,
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
which are both like good things to do, right? But
But
um,
like, you only did it because other
but it
people
would go
mentioned it.
well, not even because they didn't even mention it. I just thought, okay, I don't want to be the guy who walks into this room and is like smelly or whatever.
That's fair.
Um, but it went further than that. I can't think of any examples, but like I spent a lot of time trying to mold myself after what I thought they were looking for. If that makes
But they
sense.
didn't even tell you what they were looking for. It was just in your head. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay.
which is why it was so unhealthy, I think.
So like it was kind of just like it was just built up on your head. Like no one actually said you
Oh
smell.
yeah, no one said anything to me. No.
Right. That's interesting.
Um,
Okay.
yeah. But like in the summer and stuff, I'd notice that either like maybe I'd get a sweat patch somewhere or something.
Yeah. And
I'd
then
be
you'd
like,
be
okay,
self-conscious
that's
about
gotta
it.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'd like wear my jacket like the whole time because I wanted to cover up the sweat patch in my shirt or whatever,
Okay.
even though it's hot because of that. Or
Okay.
like little things like that, right?
I see.
They don't matter at all.
No, they
And
don't.
if chances are, if someone sees that you have a sweat patch, they're not going to say anything.
Right. They might think it, right? But yeah,
Yeah, and
they're
they're not
probably not
gonna,
gonna say anything. Yeah.
they probably don't care either. But yeah, it's like little things like that. I think really added up and kind of ruined sixth form for me too. You'll
Okay.
notice that I tend to ruin things for myself a lot of the time.
This can
But
be a reoccurring theme, chat. Okay, keep an eye out for.
recurring, yes,
Okay, that's really
it's
interesting. I mean, that probably happened to me as well. I think there were probably times where I was also like, what if they think like, what if they think this about me, right?
yeah.
But did you not have times where like did people ever like be mean to your face?
No, no, no.
Really?
Yeah, people are quite respectful to me for some reason.
Wow. Because he has a nice face, chat. He has a nice face. You can't be mean to argonised. Okay, that's interesting. All right. Oh, so it's
Yeah, I
kind of
don't know.
like everything was like brought upon by yourself, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Either way, it's bad, right? Like, it really
yeah.
doesn't matter. Do you think you've changed that? Then do you think you've like, as time went
Oh
on?
yeah, I don't care anymore.
Okay, that's good.
Um,
Yay to not
it's
caring.
the specific example with the sweat patch has changed because now in uni and stuff, there's no dress code, right? So I can just
Yeah.
wear a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I used to hate it
Um,
when you had to wear like a white shirt, and then your sweat,
oh
like the
yeah,
sweat would always because it's a white shirt, right?
yeah.
So
So my sixth form had a uniform, right?
okay, that's worse actually.
Yeah. So it'd be like, so
Did you
the
have to?
worst part was
Yeah.
you'd have a half term, and then for the whole week you didn't have to wear a collared shirt, and then you'd go back, and it felt like you were being strangled by the shirt.
Did you have to wear a tie and stuff as well?
Yeah, I had to wear like basically a suit and tie.
Really? Not even
Yeah.
like what one thing we had for our school was like in summer they allowed us to take the tie off and blazer off and stuff. Did you have that?
No. So you could take
Damn.
your blazer off and stuff, yeah, but the tie had to stay on. It was only in the last year that people started to rebel, because there was like a pretty clear distinction between the girls' dress code and the boys' dress code. So the girls could just wear whatever they want as long as they didn't show their shoulders.
Sure.
I don't know why the shoulders were the specific target here,
Okay.
um, but yeah, so they could like wear whatever, and they did wear whatever. But the boys were just like forced to wear basically a suit and tie.
Okay.
And then I remember I was added to some group chat called like "No Tie Gang" with like a bunch of weird emojis and stuff. And
Oh
they're
my.
like, "The plan is on Friday. We're gonna walk into sixth form, no ties, no ties at all."
Really? Yeah,
Stupidest thing I've ever even thought of participating in. I
dude.
don't think I did.
Did you participate? That's the question.
No, I don't. I don't think so.
Dude, you had a
But
you had a
then,
full-on rebellion, man. That's a
but actually, because of that, they did reduce the restrictions.
power to the
So,
people. Like that makes sense though. Like if people don't listen to them, what can they do, right? If
yeah,
like eventually they just can't do anything.
yeah, and then no one wore ties for like the whole of summer.
Oh really?
So that's yeah,
That's a good story. It's a good origin story.
surprising. Yeah.
I think that's a bit unfair though, yeah, because in summer it's obviously super hot. Like it's not
Mm.
shouldn't be like that, but yeah, your school sounds very strict.
It
Sounds
was
very strict.
weird. It was a very weird
I think
sixth
we both
form.
had different school experiences
Right.
from what I've heard of like even with this stuff. Like you said, no one said mean things to
Yeah.
you, stuff like that.
People said mean things
People
to me.
said mean things to me. I mean, I'm not
Oh,
gonna. Yeah, that just happened. I mean, I think people said mean things to everyone though in my school. It wasn't just like just me. Like I'm not saying I'm the only victim. It was just like I was hanging out with some friends today and we were talking and like there were a lot of like people did mean stuff, right? I'm not gonna say the mean things. I'm not gonna like bait them out and stuff. But like there were some mean things that happened in my school and like when you look back, it's just kind of dumb, really. Because yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Don't know if that happened for you, but
I think a lot of the time it's just unnecessary.
yeah,
Um, Especially if you criticize someone, chances are they already know.
yeah, probably.
Um, and if they can't change it in like a couple of seconds, there's no point saying it.
You just make them
I
feel
think.
bad, right? That's it.
Yeah. Like if you had spinach in your teeth or something, that you can change really quickly, right?
Yeah, just it's not a
Uh,
big deal. But like I feel like people in school, back in the day, like they have to put more emphasis on those things for some reason. I don't know. At least for me.
okay. So do you think you've changed in that way where you just care less about what people think about you now?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
That's good.
sure. I don't know how it changed. Like how did you? Because you say you don't care anymore, right? As well
Yeah.
as much. How like what was the trigger point for you? Can you identify it?
Uh, yeah. So it actually did end up happening in sixth form itself. There was just a day when I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this,
Yeah.
and then I just stopped. Like I realized like there's no point.
Did
Uh,
something happen to trigger that
I
thing?
think it was some other kind of stress from some exam or something
Yeah.
that just triggered the whole thing. I was really stressed about these like really inconsequential exams that didn't mean anything. They were like weekly exams, and there was one topic or something that I just didn't know very well. I was really stressed about it,
Oh
and then
wow.
I was worried about what my peers would think because the like all the results and stuff for the weekly things are just shared because you're sitting next to someone who also did the same exam as you.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So when you get your papers back and stuff, the numbers like right there, big red font.
Right, so everyone can see
Um,
it.
yeah, everyone can see it, and everyone looks right because people are curious.
Yeah, people are
So
curious cats. Yes.
yeah, so I just stopped caring, and then I walked into the thing, and I was just like, I whatever I got is what I got.
That's nice.
And that also helped in A level because I think I was a lot less stressed for A level results too than I was for GCSEs.
That's good to
Um,
hear, actually.
yeah, so then that happened, and then turns out no one in the class knew the topic very well, so all of our grades were low. Wasn't just me.
Right, so then you
Um,
realize that you caring was, inconsequential, basically.
just
Like it
didn't, yeah,
didn't.
it made no difference at all.
Okay, that's
And
good
I
to
think
hear.
everyone else was in roughly like the same position anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a
So
lot of the time, just it doesn't mean anything.
it's not sometimes not what you think it is, right? Like you have this kind of like image built up in your head of what a situation might be like. Like in your example, you thought everyone would have got higher than you, right? You thought you like fucked it up and you would have been the lowest or whatever.
Yeah,
But then in reality, like what happened with you, a lot of the times it's different, right? Like it's just no point stressing about something that doesn't change like like you've already done the test. There's no point stressing because you can't go back and change it, right?
yeah,
Like I'm not saying like I think being stressed, it's good to be stressed because it means you like it's not good to be stressed, but like it's good to have stress sometimes because you're able to kind of focus on a goal, right?
yeah. I think it's
Um,
good to care,
yeah. Okay, that's a good way of
uh,
saying it. It's good.
not
It's
to
good to
worry.
care, but not to worry.
Yeah,
Damn, put on the t-shirt, organized. So good.
we're not gonna do that.
We're not gonna do that,
Okay.
chat. Don't worry.
Uh,
If we become big, we'll make DMC t-shirts. That'll be nice.
no, we won't. Why would you do? Okay, sure.
Yeah, we're doing that. Everyone has merch, right? Okay.
Uh, okay.
But yeah, I think yeah. So definitely like it's good to care, right? Because you can still like when we were doing exams, a month ago. Like we definitely cared,
Yeah,
but I don't think we were that stressed about it as much as we would have been, at least for you, like in GCSE, like definitely wasn't comparable to that, right?
mm,
Same for me as
yeah,
well. But like, it doesn't mean that we didn't care, right? We still tried our hardest and whatever, but it was just a different way of going about the same thing, right?
yeah.
I think that's really important.
And I think also in sixth form, after I realized that, I went on like a YouTube binge and I just watched a bunch of videos
Okay, which type of
about
video?
just like philosophical videos, just about this kind of thing, right? And there's this philosophy called Stoicism that I came across.
Stoicism. Okay, explain.
Yeah. So the whole philosophy is just based around all sorts of different things, like it's living in the present, stuff like that. But also, a main thing is accepting that the things that you have no control over are just fixed, and just focusing on things that you can control.
Okay, that should
Um,
definitely reduce stress levels, right? Because
yeah. So if with the like with the really simple example of the exams and stuff, if you've recently done some exams and you're worried about them, um, the like Stoics would say there's no point because your grades set in stone, right?
yeah,
Makes no
because
difference.
you can't change it. Right? You can't go back and change it.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't prepare for the next exams really hard if you think you've done badly or something,
Right,
right?
because that's a variable that you can change.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
and the same goes for things like thinking about what people think of you. If you're worried about maybe not being very attractive or whatever, um, you can just forget about what people think because that's in their heads. And if you want to like improve your health and stuff, you can go to the gym because that's something you have control over, right? Um, and it can be applied to a lot of things,
I think that's
like a
really
lot of
good.
things.
I might have to
Yeah.
look into that as well after this. That sounds really interesting. But you're saying like don't like It's not like don't like notice those things happening. Like notice
Mm.
them, but don't care. Is that what it's saying? Because
Yeah, more or less.
okay, like notice them, but realize that you can't do anything to change it. So then move on to the next thing,
Yeah,
kind of thing, right?
yeah, and that's how I try to see things. It's not. It doesn't always work,
Yeah, I
but
mean, yeah, we're still human at the end of the day. We're gonna make mistakes and stuff, right? Like everyone will. We can't
but I
be
think it's a good way
perfect.
to look at
Stoicism. Okay, you heard it here first, chat. Does that mean you're a stoic? Is that what it's called?
it. Yeah. So there's an English word, stoic,
Yes.
which comes from the Greek word stoa, which is um, the place where the Stoics would meet. It's like an archway or something.
Okay.
It's like a covered area that they'd meet in. And stoic means to just not show any emotion at all. So someone who's
Right.
very stoic would have like a straight face all the time, and you can't tell how they're feeling.
Okay.
They might look like a statue or whatever, right?
Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
But the philosophy doesn't necessarily mean like don't feel anything. It's just like don't feel some things.
Like be selective about the things you feel.
Yeah,
Right.
but the things that you really care about, you have to be very passionate about because obviously, like
Because
otherwise you're not.
that's something you can control, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That's really
yeah,
cool, actually. Pretty sweet. I think that's that's really really because like it just shows like what we're talking about, right? Is just not to care about what people think because that is something you can't change. That's their thoughts, right?
right.
And a lot of the time, when you do try to change their thought, it kind of makes it worse. So an
Right.
example of that is, if something that I, was guilty of a lot in the past was when people used to like, make fun of me or whatever, or have this like opinion about me. Obviously I'd be angry, right? Because like I didn't like what they were saying, or I'd be affected by it. Like I'd care what they say in the past, so I'd be angry as a result, and then I'd show my anger. But
Sure.
that actually has like a negative effect, which is what I found.
Okay.
Because I thought initially at the start, I was like, if I get angry, they're gonna stop, right? Because I don't know. That's what I thought, I guess.
That's not how it works.
No, that's not how the world works, Chad. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
So like it kind of made it worse. But I think it just links to stoicism things. It's just like if I just didn't care at all, right? If I just didn't even get angry because I just didn't care, then that wouldn't have happened either. So yeah, I think that's
Right.
super. I think that's super important. And
Yeah.
yeah, super cool.
Yeah, I think so. That kind of leads back into my. So we were talking about the long-term goal, right?
Yes, we were. Yes, long-term
That's
aspiration of
kind
ours.
of yeah. That's kind of why some of my aspirations have changed. So the whole
Because
like
you've
family thing,
yeah.
I know that that's more or less not in my control. I could go on like dating apps and stuff, sure.
Right. Do you think that's not in your
Uh,
control though? Really?
I think a lot of it's just
What do you,
honestly like hearing about people's relationships and stuff and how people meet. A lot of it seems like it's just coincidence.
like luck? Yeah.
Yeah, or luck. And I know that that's not something I can control. So I'm not like worried about that. If that happens, then it'll happen.
That's a nice
Um,
link back to. That's why you've changed the whole.
yeah.
Obviously,
So
you said
that's why my
before that
yeah,
your main goal was to have a family, but now it's not.
yeah. And
It's
that's
not
why
your
my
main.
goal is like at the end to just not think back and say, okay, I should have done this instead.
Because those things are things you can control.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You've become stoic,
I'm
basically.
I'm a stoic.
You're a stoic.
Yeah.
You're a stoic.
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually. Okay, that's a nice link back to the.
Hmm.
Okay. So, like, it's still important to you, right? The family thing. It's just not as, or is it just not important at all? Like, would you be satisfied if you, didn't have a family at all?
Yeah.
You'd be
I think
satisfied.
yeah.
Okay.
That's fine. It's not like it doesn't have to happen for me to be happy, right? So
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's nice that you right, but that's changed from the past.
Yeah, so in the past I wanted a family, now I'm just an incel. Uh, no.
All right, so there we go.
Yeah,
You said it,
it's
Jeff.
it's just not as big of a factor as it was.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's still a massive factor. Like, obviously, when I answered that question, that was my like main goal.
Yeah.
I guess it's like each to their own, right? Kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like each
I
to
think
their.
it's good to have goals.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
But maybe it's not too good to have just a singular goal, because your goal, like your main goal now, is to just not, regret anything, right, and be fulfilled in your life. But you didn't specify. I have to do this thing. Like I have to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
Maybe that's better because you're kind of just, it's less risky, right? Do you think?
Yeah, there's less room for disappointment for sure.
Yeah. Or is it like a thing? Is
Um,
you can't be like it's not objectively better. Nothing's objectively better or worse.
Well, I mean, my goals are my goals, and your goals are yours, right?
That's
So,
fair.
um, I think if you know for sure, like, you want a family, you want to start a family, or whatever, um, just after you have a career, that's good. I think it's good to plan it like that.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I just am less worried about that now than I was before.
I
I
think that's
think.
good. Worried less. Maybe your future self has gone to you, has met you or something. Now you're worrying less. That'd be nice.
Yeah, but yeah. I don't know.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of things. So, is anything else you want to add to this topic that we haven't covered already? We've covered a lot of things, I believe.
Right. Um. Hmm. Have you had any additional thoughts about the questions we asked earlier or something? Maybe.
Which is the question about.
Just any of them, like whether it's to do with money or um, have you thought of maybe some other goals or some other, even just some of the places you want to travel to?
Honestly, like when you're telling me your one about how you have like a very wide range of like your goal is not so fixed about having a family. I'm not
Sure.
just saying that like, oh, because like now because you said it, I think I'm wrong, but I'm just thinking about it more. Like maybe I should not be so stubborn about it.
Okay.
And kind of think about it a bit more because like honestly, I haven't thought about it that much, right? And that's partly the reason we're doing this thing. We can like think about it more because I haven't really thought of like that question. I just thought, yeah, I want to have a family because like that's what I want to do, but
Okay.
maybe I will find other things that I want to do, but I just don't know what they are yet. Like
Okay.
I haven't found those things yet. So I should maybe be more open minded. That's what I take out of this session here. Um,
Okay. It might be good to ask you this question again in a few years and just see if the answer's changed.
yeah, on like DMC like 50 or something.
50.
A few
Yeah, it
years
could
would
be
be like if we do every 2 weeks consistently.
right.
Hopefully we can.
That's 52 weeks, right?
Nice.
So that's 26
So
a
then
pop.
yeah, so I guess in 2 years
Um,
like 50 around 50.
yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
we
we could
get to
do that.
like we could do like milestone episodes. Like get to like 50, get to 100. That'd be insane.
That'd be good. Yeah.
Obviously, guys, it's just the first one, but we got to start somewhere. I think the hardest
Right.
thing is getting your foot into the door with anything. So I'm just really happy that we started this, and long may it continue.
Yeah. We need to come up with some things for the next one.
Yeah, we have a little brainstorming session.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have any ideas for
um,
things? Maybe,
I have
maybe something that
I have
can
some idea.
expect.
A little bit of like a teaser for
A little
the
bit of
for our
a teaser.
audience.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that the conversation about like emotions is, I mean, that's very generic, right? But like different emotions and stuff, how we feel is pretty
Okay.
cool. What do you say to that?
Okay. That's very vague.
That is very vague, but I
Very
don't want to
vague.
give anything away to chat, obviously.
Okay.
What are some of your ideas?
Hmm.
Maybe even ideas that I haven't heard of, perhaps, if you have any.
Ooh.
Surprise me,
Uh.
organized.
Hmm. I think we could just do like a stories episode where we just
Okay.
tell stories from our obviously very interesting past.
Oh yes, we've lived a long 20
Yeah,
years.
we could do that.
Okay, that's cool.
Um, yeah,
That should be
but
fun
we'll come up with some stuff, I'm sure.
for sure. Yeah, and we'll have another episode up in 2 weeks, I believe. Right? Should be good.
Hopefully, yeah.
This has been fun. Though.
If
Have you
everything
enjoyed
goes
it?
well.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I just feel bad for whoever just joined, whoever, because we're finishing now.
Oh, that's true. It's okay. Well, hopefully I'll be able to get this video up on my YouTube. So it should be up
Ooh,
within the next week on my YouTube channel. So go subscribe over there if you do want to. If you missed part of this podcast or talk show, yeah, you can
mm,
watch the whole thing on my YouTube.
yeah.
And
Or as Mardu29 said, we
March
could just
29.
play Warzone.
Warzone is a good game. I guess he's been watching
Good
my
game.
streams. He's been watching that I've been streaming some Warzone. Yeah,
Yeah, we could do that.
I do that.
You should do that, actually. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good place to end it. Don't you think, Organized?
I think so. Yes. Thank you for coming along, all 7 of you.
Very nice. Yes, thank
Uh,
you.
so we will see you in 2 weeks.
Please, I'm lonely. I want to play. No.
Oh, Mardu is lonely.
Sad. It's very sad.
Oh no.
Yeah, make sure to follow us on our social media as well. Mainly Twitter. Whenever I stream and stuff, or anything about this podcast will be posted over there. So follow us over there. And if you haven't
Yeah.
followed the channel already, drop me a follow. That would be very much appreciated. But I think that's pretty much it, Argonised, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can follow me in like a year's time because I'm not going to be doing anything on there for like a year anyway. So
just follow him anyway.
no
Why
pressure.
not? Follow him. It's just 1 second.
No pressure. Just don't. It's fine.
You'll
Just
make
wait
him
a year.
happy, chat. You'll make him happy.
Probably won't.
Thank you, Nicole,
Okay.
for watching and for joining and for commenting as well. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
Any comments about the podcast, by the way, like you know, just send me a DM on Twitter or something. Like if we can improve anything, you know, anything about that, then let us know. But with that being said, that's pretty much it. See you guys in the next stream. Goodbye.
Goodbye.